This stuff will make you a goddamn sexual tyrannosaurus. Just like me.
Let's go the music.
Hey guys, welcome back. This week we still have not been shot in the ear. Thank you guys for watching us week after week, for having an incredible show. We're here to spread more misinformation, and we're really excited to have you guys here to bring just a little bit of light into your life on a Thursday night and get into some controversy. Ready? All right, guys.
What we do.
Let's all go viral or get canceled. Let's do it. Here we go. She is from Indianapolis, Indiana. It's Alex Basil. She's a restaurant manager. Welcome, Alex. It's first time to the show. Incredible. Yes, she's also from Indianapolis. She's a salon owner, an entrepreneur, and soon-to-be podcast host. It is Tori Speedy. How's it going, Tori?
I'm good. Glad to be here.
Nice, nice. He is my business partner at Men of Action from Medellin, Colombia. It's Miguel Colon.
How's everyone doing?
All right, nice. She's the most famous person in this building. That's right. She's a YouTuber. Make sure you follow her on YouTube. From Las Vegas, it's Norma Jelly. How's it going, Norma?
Hi.
Jelly.
Incredible. Yes, she's from Costa Mesa. She's a server at Marquis and works for an oil and gas company. It is Michelle Brittany Martin. How's it going, Michelle? All right. He is a bottle girl in Boston. That's right. He works in nightlife. He's a nightlife host, and he's a customer success manager here at Men of Action. It is Luke Chase. How's it going, Luke?
What's up, guys? Glad to be here.
Awesome. And she is DJ Shishi from Las Vegas. She's a professional dancer, and we have her here as well. Give her a big round of applause. Can we get the wide shot real quick? Okay. For all of you guys who joined us yesterday on our Twitter Spaces, ladies, if you have an OnlyFans, raise your hand. Okay, good.
Thank you.
No, just don't. Okay, we have one girl here with an OnlyFans. Michelle, do you post nude on your OnlyFans?
No. So I don't care. Boobs are boobs. I have big boobs, but I don't go fully nude. Like I don't show vagina.
I don't even care about that. The point is,
I'm just laying it out there.
the point is, for all you guys who are complaining, that's all we do is have nothing but fucking OF girls on. Which, by the way, no, if you guys want to come on, I'm not trying to shame you.
Yes.
Please come on the show.
We love you.
The point is, today, I just like one of these situations where if today you watch this and you didn't notice, that's your fault. It's like if we talk about other concepts, the only ones that you guys remember are the ones that are the most lascivious, where they're the biggest arguments and the craziest stuff. Those are the ones you guys only remember. And we have a bunch of girls on here that don't have OnlyFans, and so we're going to have a discussion. So I don't want to hear that fucking complaint anymore. Thank you. Let's get it going.
Yes.
What do you got going on, man?
Oh man. Oh, by the way, the young man who is the responsible for our theme song, Giovanni Sanders, has decided. He just informed me this week that he's going to be moving to Vegas. So I concur. I'm really excited about that because I've wanted him to be in a band with him for a long time. So it'll be great. But Giovanni, thank you for giving me that good news before we started today. What do we else got going on?
Okay.
We had our Twitter space yesterday.
Yeah. So we've done Twitter space.
We need to talk about the Twitter space,
bro. Okay. Are you guys familiar with how Twitter space works? It's obviously we're old. We call it Twitter space. It's X. X Spaces. Yeah. Okay. So the way it works is just imagine we were doing a collaboration. Like right now, like I'm live on YouTube, Rolo's live on Rumble. But there are two different areas and there's two different chats. If you do a Twitter space and Elon Musk joins your Twitter space, it's just as much Elon's as yours. Even though you're the host, it's everyone's Twitter space. So his entire audience sees that he's in our space. Mm-hmm. And the same thing. So Myron joined us last night. We ended up with 400 people watching at one time. We ended up with 2,200 people watching us at one point.
Yeah, we're getting bigger every time.
It gets bigger every time. But the thing is, because it's on X, nobody gives a shit about the words you use, and it gets really nasty. There's a lot of like British cigarettes, you know what I'm saying? British cigarette guy who runs
a bundle of sticks.
Guy who runs Germany in 1939. Yes. Like there's a lot of that goes on. You know, delete yourself, that kind of stuff, because it's YouTube, so people just don't care. Or I'm sorry, because it's X, people don't care as much. And it was informative, but also kind of like. You said it grinds you down.
Yeah, grinds you down. Yes, because you're dealing with people like you don't get. I mean, because I try to moderate it. I hosted it, right? So, and I've hosted the last two, And every time I'm like, should I ban this guy? Should I boot this guy? And like the consensus is get this guy out of here kind of thing. And I'm like, I feel really bad about doing that, but I'm like, no, he's kind of abusive. So I'm getting rid of this.
So I talked to Mac and Murphy a couple of weeks ago after that article came out, and I was like, do you want to come on the show? He goes, I don't want any exposure to red pill spaces. And I didn't understand until last night.
Yes.
I was like, man, this is because they don't really send their full ire at us, but that was some of the angriest fucking people I've ever
that's
heard.
The thing that I think that we get like kind of abuse for is like the red pill. That's not to me. That's not the red pill space. That's like the black pill doomer space. That's like incel MGTOW black pill space is what that is. It's guys who just basically want a piece of you. There's two guys that just jumped on because they saw Myron on there and they just wanted a piece of Myron. Like, oh, here's our chance. And then the other guys wanted a piece of you, or they wanted a piece of Myron, but they told me I was great. You know, like like if the guys are from like
Divide and Conquer
or something like that. Yeah, they're like, oh man, you're the best of the best from blah blah blah. But then they go, you're a piece of shit. I'm like, you know, we do a show together.
It was so wild. It was so wild listening to that. So the thing that I actually took from that, and the reason why I enjoy doing the show, and you know, I'm friends with a lot of you guys, is that they complain about women constantly. That's what they were doing on there. Even the guys who were like, oh yeah, I've been with a lot of women and I don't trust them. And my whole thing is like,
I'm speaking from experience.
Yeah, I'm speaking.
Really.
It's like, no, you're not. You're not speaking from experience. The thing is, it's like, have I had situations, ladies, if you had a situation where you dealt with a guy who's been dishonest with you, go ahead and put your hand up if that's ever happened to you. Yes, you have. Really?
And he's now a narcissist.
Guys ever lied to me? I mean, every guy lied to everyone. Every girl's probably like,
cool. All right. Now, here's the thing. You get a choice in your life. Are you bitter about it? Or are you just like, that's how the fucking guys are, and you just move on with your life? I find women, I love being around women. And if women are going to be dishonest or act all crazy or whatever, it just doesn't bother me because I look at it like puppies. Like you guys are like puppies. If the puppy poops on the fucking floor, I'm not going to kill the puppy. It's just like, whatever, it's a puppy. It's not that big of a deal. The thing is, are people self-serving? Yes. Are people solipsistic? Yes. Do people act in narcissistic ways? Yes, they do. Just don't let it bother you. That's the thing. I just wouldn't let it bother. You're not going to change how people are. And then you go through your life with abundance. And then eventually you meet the one person that you want to be with long term. And then you try to make it work. And then if it doesn't work, it doesn't fucking work, because we have a 56% divorce rate in this country. But the thing is, like, the idea of letting it bother you, or more importantly, the idea of like hating people who don't do what you want, meaning your girlfriend cheated on you, therefore fuck her, she deserves bad karma. We're going to have a video today where we're going to actually respond to that.
Oh yeah.
It's one of these things, guys. If the world doesn't give you what you want, then you need to work harder and take personal responsibility and accountability to do better. Not think that the world is going to punish the person who fucked you over, because the world rarely does. Can anyone name for me all the bankers who went to jail after that subprime mortgage crisis of 2008? Go ahead and name all the bankers who went to jail.
Big Short.
I'm waiting. All the bankers who went to prison. Oh, so you mean they fucked us and none of them went to jail? Funny. You think people are going to pay for shit. O.J. Simpson, before he died, he allegedly stabbed people 56 times, and he got offered millions of dollars to do a fantasy football podcast. Jordan Belfort punches his wife in the stomach, kidnaps his own child, and now he's a best-selling author and a huge sales trainer. No one pays for shit. And the girl who cheats on you, while you need to work on being stronger, getting a new bench press max, making more money, scaling your business, that's what you need to focus on. Doesn't matter. Don't worry about her. She's just fine. She's she's in Bay of Biscayne snorting cocaine off some fucking rich guy's penis. Don't worry about her. She's doing just good. She is not going to, don't worry. Guys, the thing that you need to understand, the reason why this is not an issue, ladies, no offense, but is because there are so many fucking simps out there that if your girl leaves you and does everything wrong, like there was one girl, she used to work at the bank. You remember bank? Remember bank was open? Mirage. But you remember bank was at Mirage? Oh, no, I'm sorry. Bank. I'm sorry. Bank was at Bellagio. You remember Bank? Okay. There's one girl. She worked at Bank, and this girl was a cocktail server, but she used to be a porn star. She did porn for a long time. It was like she had all new teeth because she was like doing a bunch of drugs or whatever. And so she's done everything wrong. She did a porn star. She was a porn star. She fucking did a bunch of drugs. She did everything wrong. And you know what she got? You know what she got for her troubles? A fucking diamond ring the size of my head from the guy who proposed to her. That's what happened. And then she had 2 beautiful children with him. Like, that's what ends up happening in the end. You guys understand? Yeah. Nobody pays for shit. Don't look at it and be like, karma's going to come back and get you. That is a terrible way to live your life. Live your life in abundance. Live your life in growth. Only worry about you and your friends doing better. Don't worry about other people doing worse. That's the trick. That's the key. That's the way you're going to get happy. Otherwise, you're going to live in a world of vengeance. And that's it. And it doesn't work any better. So don't try to get vengeance. Don't try to get back at these whores or put them in their fucking place. Let people do whatever they want. And if they do what you don't like, they're just puppies who shit on the floor. That's all they are. Don't fucking be upset about it. Don't let it bother you ask yourself.
And don't let it consume you until you're like 53 years old.
Exactly.
Like that guy.
It was just like my experiences with women my whole life, well, maybe in the last 20 years have been nothing but positive. And it doesn't mean that every girl I've been with wants to be in a long-term relationship and never lied. Fuck no. You and I know crazy ass people who live in this city. It's like, no, it's not like that, but it's funny. It's fun. You remember during COVID, those wild ass mansion parties that we went to all the time? People were getting fucked up, drunk, naked up on tables or whatever. It was funny. We had a good time. I don't want to marry her. I don't want to marry her, but we had a good time. It was just some fucking fun. So you charge it to the game and you move on and you have a good time and you don't blame people for shit. That's the only thing I would like to ask for you guys. You can think that I'm wrong. You can call me all kinds of names, or you can join this little clique right here and actually like level up in life. That's up to you.
They say, and you sound like Ryan from Pillow Talk.
Okay, really? I sound Canadian?
Yeah.
I sound Canadian now? Okay.
Hey, right from the jump, though, this is also related to our Twitter Spaces. We had one guy on there who was talking, and we got into a very long, very drawn out debate. As to whether I was going to say go ahead, ask the ladies.
Okay, ladies. So we had a guy who come on there. He was a boxer, and he kept telling us about how much experience he had with women. And then he explained to me, anytime a woman opens her legs and has sex with a man, she's only doing so because she wants to submit to that man and have a relationship with him. And I was like, bro, women
after something.
And I was like, bro, do you not know women like fucking too? Like, what's going on? Ladies, is it possible that women just want to have sex sometimes and they don't need to be in a relationship? Raise your hand. Or do you think every time a woman has sex, she wants to be in a relationship? Anybody? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think, Stacey?
Of course, it is totally possible for a sexual being, the femme,
hypothetically
hypothetically want to open her legs. You know,
we're not talking about you guys. I'm just asking.
Not that I would know from experience. Yeah,
it's very possible.
I would know from experience, but like,
so that means that every time a woman tries to have sex, it's not because she's trying to be in a relationship.
Not a long-term one.
Have you? Maybe not you, obviously, but you've been on a bachelorette party and there was a girl who's like, he's hot and I just want to have sex with him.
No.
Also, let me ask you something. Is it possible for a woman to have sex with a man when she's just attracted to him and she doesn't respect him? Is that possible?
A lot of times too, where I see like I'm working at the club, like so many times I see like a bachelorette party hooking up with a bachelorette, the bachelor guy hooking up with a bachelorette just because they want free drinks and the guy has a bungalow.
Yeah.
And it's like they don't have to pay $50 for a drink. So like, yeah, they're not trying to get with that guy. Or like there's also times like you said he's a boxer, right? Yeah. So like sometimes they just want it like, I don't know, kind of like because just is like kind of like be cloudy, you know, like be like, oh, like I fucked this like boxer person
for clout.
That's
for clout. Clout is not a relationship.
Like
yes.
cloudy though, so it's not about like hooking up, like wanting to like, be with him. Like, you know, girls can be guys too, and be like, it's nothing.
You see? Do you hear what she said? Girls can be guys too, meaning having meaningless sex. Yeah. It's just so crazy. Norma, what do you think?
Yeah, I do think that there's a time when girls have sex with a guy and never want to see them ever again.
Exactly. Yeah. Like girls get the ick too. Like you can kiss a girl, you can kiss a guy, and the kiss is like awful, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm glad I kissed him to get it over with because now I never want to do it again.
Hey, do you know what wouldn't exist if every girl just wanted a relationship when she had sex? You know what wouldn't exist? Las Vegas. There wouldn't even be a city here. Dubai would not exist. Fucking Brickell would not exist. South Beach would not exist. Hollywood would not exist. None of these places would exist if girls were only down to have sex for long-term relationships. It was, and like the thing is, the guy would not listen. He continually believed, it was like, no, every girl who ever had sex with you was only there because they were ready to be in a long-term committed relationship. And I was like, man, what kind of belief? Then I actually started thinking about it. It's like, maybe this guy just chooses really well. I don't know. What his
I met guys that are more sensitive than me that think they want to be in a relationship when I get the ick. So I'm just like,
I know a couple girls who tested out the cow before.
Yes.
Test it out.
Yeah.
No, we should talk about that.
Go for a test drive.
I was just gonna say is like the guy just would not relent. There's only one like truth, and that was it. Yeah. And like he hits me up later on, like after that, and he DMs me on Twitter, and he's like, dude, I really want to debate you on this on a long term. I'm like, dude, we just had like what an hour and a half on this. I like, what more is there to say, my friend?
He just kept repeating himself.
Yeah. Well, and then like he kept like coming back at me like, hey, Rollo, back me up on this. Like, I'm like, no, dude. I'm like, when I was in my 20s and my, in Hollywood and my rock star 20s and stuff, there were women who just wanted to fuck for the sake of fucking. Okay. Like I had to my name, I had a pickup truck. I had like a half stack amp. I had a couple of guitars. I had a beat up. You know,
Ladies,
I
liking
lived,
this?
I lived in a.
Ladies?
I lived in a studio.
Ladies?
I lived in
Ladies?
a one room studio apartment
He's
in North
poor.
Hollywood.
He's in a band.
My dining room table
he
was
must
one of
have
them
a
big
huge penis.
spools, you
He's
know?
he's in a band and he's poor.
Yes, it's like there's. That's why I keep saying it's not about the money,
Yeah,
right?
of course
I mean,
not.
it just depends on like if the vibe is there, if you're playing the character that she wants to get with, if it's if it's the hot guy on the foam cannon party on Cancun on spring break and he was hot, he was cute, you were drunk, and one thing led to another. That happens all the fucking time, and there's no pretense to it. It's just like, are you DTF? Yes. Okay, let's go.
So let me ask you, ladies, have throughout your life, what you've been interested in men changed?
Oh, for sure.
Do you
Yes,
okay, go
100%.
ahead, Stacey. We'll start with you. Stacey, what did it used to be, and then what did it become?
Okay. Well, for instance, when I was young and a child, maybe when I was 15 or 16, I dated a couple of 16-year-old boys who were cutting drugs for their uncles.
That's what I'm saying,
And
though. That's
Drug dealer effect.
I
Yeah.
simply don't have that taste anymore. Like I have taste in men.
we all dated a trapper. Like, somebody
a
did,
straight
right?
trapper to sum it up. But yeah, and now I have my taste in men has definitely elevated. It's kind of like pure ethics and attractiveness and a lot like that. Ambition, attractiveness, humility, a lot of ethics and morals. I look for ethics a lot. So that's my answer.
What do you think, Michelle?
Ugh, this is the wrong question for me because I still don't know what I like or what I want.
Oh, that's the first
I always
step.
claim I
That's the
like the
first
nice
step.
guy, but then I get with the nice guy and it goes good for a while. But then I feel like, I kind of want that edgy bad boy. So I really don't know what I want.
That's why it's so hard to please a woman.
I don't
You
know.
guys don't
I
even know what
really,
you
to this
want.
day, I'm the wrong person. I don't
Nothing
know what I
wrong with
want.
that.
But I always do say I like the nice guy. So
But you never stick
you could
with
be a
them. or-
nice guy with a little bit of edge. I think so. Yeah.
There you go.
Still figuring it out.
Norma,
It's
have
okay.
you had a
Yeah.
change in what you over the years of something that you're attracted to?
Yeah, I mean, I think when I was younger, I was definitely down to be that girl who was like, okay, let's grow together. And now it's like, no, you better have your own empire. Like, I don't want to drag you like.
You want a
With
guy
me,
who has
like-
a solid frame, yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
mean, Norma's a great example of someone who's like popular. She has a YouTube channel that like is profitable, and like now she's going to get into a relationship with somebody who maybe doesn't have something going on, and it's something that you're aware of now.
Yeah,
She has
and-
to have, they have to have their own thing going on.
yeah, I don't want to be the man in the relationship,
Mm.
which I have before, and I am over it.
Right.
Like, can I have my feminine energy back, please?
Right. You want somebody there to take care of things.
In that relationship, how long did you stay in it before you left? The one when you were the man, when you were wearing the pants?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
What made you stick with it for 2 years before the last straw kicked in?
Probably just seeing the potential, but in the end, it's like, oh wait, I still way advance more than you, and then they kind of stayed in the same place, and it's like, all right, well,
You try it.
Moving
yeah.
on.
I'm interested to know the Indiana contingent over here, the Midwest.
Oh boy. Well, I think personally, when I was younger, I dated for potential. I was always I always wanted that long-term relationship, right? I kind of always like wanted that marriage that like my parents didn't have, not to get too deep, but now that I'm a business owner, 30 years old, single, it's like, yeah, we have to share the same values. Like he's got to have growth mindset, essentially doing better than me, pushes me every day. So yeah,
I like that. Okay.
Yeah,
And then
it's-
Alex,
I think that's the biggest thing for me.
guys,
too.
you guys can grab the mic and just pull it to you. Yep. Just grab it with two hands. Pull it
Yeah,
to
just
you.
grab it. Yeah.
Hawk
We're
to
new
her.
here.
hands,
We're new
hold
here.
hands,
First
Hawk to her that
podcast.
bit.
To it.
Hawk to
Spit on
that
that
bit. Spit on that thing.
I think that's the biggest thing too. As I've gotten older, that I don't want to be the person. Like I want someone who's on my level or more established than me. I don't want to like have to provide for a man or a boy. So someone that is and has ambition like I do and is set in their career, or I don't want to. Not that I don't want to grow with them, but like I want them to have their own thing going for themselves too. So I don't have to do that for them.
Beautiful. Now, all of you have talked about a change that you've had in what you find attractive. And the reason why I bring that up is because one of the things that like each woman may want something different, and she may want something different at different times of her life or different times of the same month right? She may want different things.
I
Okay.
would agree with that.
And there's been studies, Bus and Mess, and they do a book called Why Women Have Sex. And that's what I brought up to the guy in the debate. I was like,
Exactly.
there's multiple reasons why women choose to have sex with men. And it changes over a lifetime. And his response for a debate, can't wait to do a debate, was fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. Fuck. That's his debate response.
Yeah, that's the level.
This is like the most cited psychologist in the country. Fuck that guy. So that's the thing. So if you want to do a debate, maybe we can do so. But like, guys, I want you guys to understand something. It's that one of the reasons why this is so important is I did a reaction video with Tristan yesterday where we went over the concept of the black pill. It's like, what do I think about black pill? And black pill is the idea that only looks matter to women. Nothing but looks matter to women, right? Which is, of course, absurd. But I try to explain to them, as a man, you have this massive advantage. There's so many ways for you to become attractive. You can funny your way into a girl's pants. Anybody? Has that ever happened to anybody? Nobody got funny? Yes. You can funny your way. You can charisma your way.
Yeah.
You can show social alignments. You can be a guy who's constantly introducing that girl to people she can't believe that you know, or taking her to places she can't believe you can get into. And her esteem for you grows over time.
Yeah.
And all that can happen when you're 5'9", when you're 5'6". It can still happen for you. That's the thing. As men, we have all these different missiles. We have all these different open receivers we can throw the football to. Whereas women, you kind of have to run the ball up the middle. It's looks like that's in the beginning.
That's all it is.
You just have one play. It's like fucking. It's 13 ISO. You know, it's 31 ISO right up the A gap. That's the only play that the women can run. The I'm really hot play, right? And so that's the difference. Okay. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out, guys. Anybody who's watching this who like feels down. The thing is, as a man, you have so many ways that you can level up. And most likely, you're not going to level up. You're not going to be fully baked. You're not going to be fully cooked in until you're 38 years old, somewhere in that area, 35 to 38.
Yes.
Honestly, I always say anyone that's nice to me I will date them, and that's like the honest truth. And it's like it's not really the biggest high standards, but like it's true.
But you have to be attracted to them before they can, even if they're nice to you.
Like
Be hot and
my
nice.
attraction is the
Here we go.
Get the fuck out of here. Wait, you what?
My ex
You're talking about the ex that you abused the shit out of? Oh.
He just be saying
The different one.
Yeah, she definitely pegged. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Are we allowed to say that or no?
All the
Yeah, you said
guys,
it.
all the
So
guys
my
in the
ex
studio
texted
are
me
like,
saying,
no,
I just took a
no.
My ex just texted me like I only dated for like a couple months, like a year ago, and texted me saying, so I just took a test. I had bad news, and I was like, "What's up?" Because I
pregnant.
haven't talked to him in a while. He's like, "I have
2024,
autism.
the
Is
man's
that why you
pregnant."
stopped dating me?" And I'm thinking, "Well, I have autism too." Like, no, that's not why. I just haven't talked to you in a year. We only dated for a couple months, but he was nice to me, so that's why. Like, I don't know.
Just be nice to you. Is that it?
That's kind of my only one requirement. If you're nice to me, I will date you, and that's so bad to say.
Absolute
But
madness.
it doesn't mean
Can
it's
we
gonna
get you a little
last.
closer to me?
It
Can we
doesn't
get
mean
this
it's gonna last, right? I can date you for only a couple months and then
Yes.
realize like there's no spark or no edge, but I will like, I don't know, maybe it's past trauma. I don't know, just something about nice people. If you're nice and compliment me, I will be like, yes, kind of thing.
All right, guys, that's what go ahead. Fall for the trap, gentlemen. Send her a bunch of compliments. I want to see all the compliments.
Where do the nice guys go wrong?
Are you trying
And you
to be
look great,
nice
by
to
the
me
way.
right now?
But where do the nice guys go wrong? Because you say you love nice guys, but then they only last 2 to 3 months.
No.
Good morning,
feel like-
sunshine.
If you go nice, it goes a long way, but that doesn't mean like it could fade out after like a month or two, because like it could be like, okay, the nice part's over. Like I want something like that's not really my type. But I just felt like because you are a sweet person,
Yeah.
but it could be done. And then that's when like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but like, I do think if you're nice, it goes a long way, at least for me.
So when you want the nice and edgy, is he
But the
causing
nice
drama?
and edgy because like
or what's edgy mean to you?
So I always date the nice people, but kind of what is what I'm attracted to, but like it's bad for me, which I don't do. It's like the kind of like the edgy bad guy. I don't know how. I don't even know. I don't even know what I want. So none of this is even making sense. People are gonna think I'm on like really big like.
It's okay. We all know you have
We're gonna
autism,
think
so
I'm
it's fine.
uneducated on here.
What's important though is that our oil and gas futures are
so
in good,
you guys,
in good hands.
I have
with
3
our-
jobs.
Great
Good.
job. Incredible. All right,
I
cool.
can be a sugar mama.
All right.
I have to put this one
I'm
up.
gonna get a rock. It's all working out.
Something's going on in the background. Look at the police lights. Possible car accident.
Yes, there is a car accident. You guys are
No,
traveling on the I-15.
That's a drug stop, actually.
You guys are on the I-15 and you're traveling south. And
You guys don't miss a goddamn thing.
That's
Jeez,
pretty
I
funny.
know.
Okay, awesome. Why don't we get to the first video? Let's just do the first one here.
No,
That's
I
going
have
to be
switch off to my reading glasses.
okay. Here we go.
1 second.
This one right here.
She does. The comments.
She does.
She does talk exactly like my
It's
autistic
called
friend
ADHD,
Amanda.
guys.
Bad neighborhood, red flag.
That's funny.
We're reading your comments. Keep them coming, guys. We're reading them live up on the screen here. All right, cool. Do we find it? Which one was it?
Oh, that's the.
I bet
that's
Amanda
not a
and I would
video.
be
Sean
best
trying with the
friends.
compliment.
Also. I bet
Oh, yeah,
Amanda and I would be best friends.
He's like, Sean,
Let's see.
what was your name
I take
again?
that
What
as
was
a
your name
compliment,
again?
Michelle. I take that.
He's like,
as a
Michelle's like my
compliment.
first friend Amanda. She too has autism.
Yeah, I bet Amanda and I would get along well.
All right, guys. Everybody, watch the screen here real quick, please.
You're a girl and you're beautiful, smart, hardworking, and driven. You are most likely single right now. And all the guys are gonna get pissed right now, but it's so true. I honestly just think the options are so limited because hear me out. So like as a girl, you want to find a partner that exceeds you in every single area. So like you want someone that looks better than you, is smarter than you, is more hardworking, has better like social characteristics. Like you look for a partner that has like better qualities than you, or at least like meets you. And not to be an absolute bitch of a person, but it's like when you're a girl that has all of her shit together, looks good, is hardworking, makes a lot of money, it's like, where do you go from there? There's so limited options. And then it's like the guys that are good options that would fit your standards are just cunts because like they have every option in the world. Because there's no absolute way I'm marrying someone that makes less money than me, isn't as funny, or like doesn't have as good people skills. Like there's just no way that that's happening.
So obviously evolutionary psychologists have been telling us this exact same thing. As more women enter the workforce with college degrees, they end up making more money, and they tend to choose men. And the number they found was about 1.65. So meaning if she makes $100,000 a year, she wants a man who makes about $165,000 a year. In general, that's what they're looking for. So you ask women in general, do you want someone tall? They don't all say 6 feet tall, but they say about 2 or 3 inches taller than them. So they want someone who's taller than them. They want someone, like she said, who's funnier than them, who might be smarter than them, who's more ambitious than them, who makes more money than them. So as you climb that scale and you become more accomplished as a woman, then there's fewer and fewer men to choose from. And of those men you have to choose from, those men have unlimited options, and it becomes a problem. What do you think, Stacey?
You know, I agree. And then also I think it could be kind of this way on both sides. So also,
not really, because I don't care at all how much money my girlfriend makes.
Well,
or
okay,
how tall she is.
Well, not that part. As in, like, if the man has unlimited options, I think. Well, again, it depends on the guy. But if he wants to settle down, there might be a girl who's like his dream girl, and he doesn't want to settle. But then his dream girl might have unlimited options to him.
No, but see, the thing is, the difference is this: the woman, she's going to have unlimited options for short-term sex. Absolutely. Or for just some casual dating. Absolutely. But for commitment, you're going to find I bet you we could do some kind of study, so the top 10% of men in this country make how much money? What do you guys think? What number would you say that is? Top 10% of wage earners.
200.
200. What do you think?
180.
It's about $134,000 a year, puts you in the top 10%. Top 17% make $100,000 a year. In the top 1%, I think you're at $818,000 a year. In the top 0.1%, you're at $3.3 million a year. I think that's what it is. The top 5%, I think that puts you at $430,000 a year, somewhere in that area. Oh, nice. Anyway, so the point is, when women are asking for men who are 6 feet tall, that's 14% of the population. When they're asking for men who are who make $200,000 a year, that puts you in like the top 12, 10, somewhere percent of men. No, I'm sorry. Put you in the top 8-7% of men as far as wage earners. Those men have all those women competing for them. Meanwhile, what you're saying is, well, then the woman has unlimited options. But does she have unlimited options for men to commit?
Well, not that woman, just maybe the woman that the guy who she thinks has limited options wants his dream girl to be. So the one he's looking for, okay, she might think he has unlimited options, but he's looking for this one girl.
He also has a longer timeline, Stacey. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
He has a way longer, meaning he could get married at 25 or 35 or 45 or 55 and still have kids.
Okay, but women have kids in their 50s all the time.
It's very rare.
It's not all the time. They don't. No, I think that's a misconception.
I will bet in their 50s, there's fewer than 1,000 children in the United States born by women in their 50s.
I think there's more than people think because it's so old that women have children so old that it's back literally in the Old Testament. Like women were like, "Holy crap, I'm pregnant."
I'm not saying that it doesn't happen every once in a while. But your likelihood of carrying a child to term after the age of 40 is like 5%.
Well, I think it is only if you don't stay healthy and you don't keep up with yourself.
I mean, for sure. Then we're 7%. We're 9%, but we're not 50%.
But it does as age goes on, you do get attacked more by the world and the unhealthy eating and all that stuff. But I don't think that's something that if you are a healthy woman and all that, I wouldn't worry about it until you're maybe in your 50s, but I still wouldn't.
You wouldn't worry about having children. Hold on, time out.
No,
because we just went viral. You would not worry about having children until you're, excuse me, editor, please pay attention to this one. You would not worry about having children until you're in your 50s?
Yeah, I think society places this pressure on women to hurry up and panic. And
I don't think it's society. I think it's Charles Darwin.
Well, I don't think it's Charles Darwin because I also don't believe in evolution. I think it's fake. So,
you think evolution is fake? Keep going.
Absolutely, evolution is fake. By the way, before anyone says anything, my first bachelor's degree was in astrophysics, and I switched it to theology after 2 years. So I've been in science and physics and anthropology and all that, and evolution is fake. So, but I would just say that as a woman who has been dated and in relationship and all that other stuff, but I'm just someone who also, no matter what society has, like, hurry up, you need to have a kid at 20, at 25. Like,
well, I understand,
but
what you're talking about is a feeling, and I'm telling you definitively, the probability of you having a child at 50 is less than 1%.
Well, I think that it's a under
reported. It's
yes,
not.
Absolutely.
The U.S. Census is pretty clear on this. Even if it was underreported by a lot, it's still not going to be 1%. It's not even going to get. In fact, I'm sure it's a fraction of 1% likelihood of that happening.
In my theology degree, like when I was like 15 years ago studying this, I've heard a Mormon chick in the Mormon church. She just had like her 7th kid, and she's like, "Yeah, and I'm only 43, so I'm still young, so I'm going to have children. Like I'm just going to."
You're dealing with someone who's extremely fertile for sure, but they're probably outside the deviation. And having a child at 40 is not impossible. And we're still in the 5% range, right? It's still a possibility. At 50, it's extremely rare. Well, it's more likely you're going to go through menopause and have a child at 50.
Well, this is the whole thing. This is what I'm saying. Everything you're saying to me, I'd be like, yeah, but it's still possible. So I would say that the women that freak out and panic, which is what it sounds like, really society, because it wouldn't matter if the woman really thinks she needs to have a kid because of time and age. If the universe does not bring her a child, then that's what's going to happen.
If I abused my body by taking steroids for a long time, let's just say I started taking anabolic steroids, and then I said, and then your response was, "Hey, do you know if you do this for a while, it's going to enlarge your heart, probably your internal organs, and you may end up dying earlier, right?" That's a legitimate warning. But the world is telling me to not take all those steroids. And you watch Rich Piana, you know all those videos. It's like, I'm not stopping taking steroids. And you know what? You know what's cool about Rich Piana? Anybody? He's dead. He died because the steroids killed him. And it didn't matter what the world. It didn't matter what the world told 45. him. The reality is, he took too many steroids and he died. So the reality of the situation is, if you wait till 50 to have kids, Stacey, I like you. That's why I'm telling you this.
But I'm saying,
do not wait till you're 50 to have kids.
A man taking steroids till his brain explodes is not the same as a Mormon chick being 43. Like, I'm still young, I'm gonna still have a lot of babies.
But we're talking about percentages. We're talking about mathematics. Like the percentages, like the likelihood of you being able to carry a child to term at 50 is it's not only unlikely, it's dangerous.
Well, I don't think it's dangerous because women have it.
But you keep saying you don't think it's dangerous.
Well,
it's like,
women don't do it all the time, and they have perfectly healthy children.
Again, there's a lot of data showing that they don't usually have perfectly healthy children at 50.
Well,
this is a fascinating conversation.
They don't in their 30s either. Sometimes they have a lot of problems in their 30s. Sometimes they have a lot of problems in their 20s because they eat like crap, and then they have.
I think they might not eat like crap and still have a problem. Stacey, is the Earth flat?
No, the Earth's not flat.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I want to see how far this is going.
The whole point being, this whole pressure is of society saying, if you don't freak out, like you don't have it before you're 50. I think you
can have children like in your 20s and not be freaking out. What is this study?
That's the CDC.
Well, everybody knows this fertility rate, but I'm saying it's not something that you need to freak out and force your life 40, to be psycho about.
It's below 1%. Like we're talking 1%. We're talking about or the fertility rate at these area up in the 30s right here.
So that's a 30.
One child. Yeah, one. Okay, so then after that, it drops to like next
Okay,
to nothing.
so should
So like
so
around
should
45 is like not
should
measurable.
the
No,
female
it's-
so should
There's
the
this thing
female
called
freak
menopause and
out,
perimenopause.
sleep with anyone
yes.
and to hurry up and get a child
No.
in order to ruin
no,
her life.
Stacey, what she could do though is make good decisions in her early 20s to pick someone who's
and
good.
that's what she's talking about, the girl on the screen.
Yeah.
Even if she does, it's harder to find the dude because it gets a lot harder.
Or you
So you can't force either way on her.
or you could be reasonable and recognize that the average man. Hold on, guys, real quick. Or you could be reasonable and realize the average guy in the United States makes $60,000 a year and is 5'9". Like that's the other option, is to actually reasonably choose somebody who's across
Well,
from you.
that's fine too. But if she's just not in love with any of them, then she's not in love. She's not going to force herself to be with a guy who, to her, is
I totally
average.
understand. And you know what would happen if women
That's
don't
not
want to
gonna
have
happen.
kids because the men don't because they don't fall in love with the men they meet? You know what happens? The fertility rate would go down. Does anyone want to know what's happened to the fertility rate? Or the marriage rate? It's plummeted. And the reason why is because of what you're saying. I actually think if enough women believe in what you believe, there'll be 1 billion people on this planet here pretty soon. And I didn't believe in this shit. I really thought Elon Musk was way over exaggerating this stuff. But the more I listen to women being like, no, we need to wait till we're 40, I'm like, we don't have a fucking chance. Because you
it's
might
not that
have
I'm
one kid at
saying
50,
you
but you're not
need
going to have two.
I'm not saying that you need to wait till you're 40. I'm saying that you don't need to force yourself into a relationship because you haven't found the guy that you're in love with yet, because society is telling you hurry up and have a kid.
Then just
before
don't have
you're 45.
kids. Then just don't have kids at
That's
all.
not, it's not going to happen.
Then Stacey, then just don't have kids at all.
But see, what you're doing is you're putting a pessimistic conclusion onto something that's not even panned out yet. You can't just be like, well, I can't find him now that I'm 31, so I give up and I'm just not having kids. Like, no, keep dating.
No, you can keep
might
trying.
You might have a kid when you're 37. You might have a kid when you're 30.
Yeah, but your and I hate to say this, but your standards for the man you're going to get at 37 should be different.
Absolutely. I totally agree. 100%. And men, when they're 37, they get more mature and they want a wife and kids too now. So you don't have to necessarily rush yourself at 25, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. You can wait.
I think at 35, you
and
should probably start rushing yourself.
Well,
You should probably start rushing.
again, you don't have to rush.
You just start
because,
fast tracking things.
because you can meet
Well, okay,
anyone
so-
in 1 month,
So
and in 9 months you can be pregnant.
let's see if I can put a little bit of a spin on this here right now, because a lot of women will relate this to me as well. They'll say, Rolo, how do I find a guy? Like, where are the nice guys? They'll be like in their like their early 30s. I'm like, where can I find a nice guy? Like, they're in your 20s where you left them, in your party years when you were having a good time, and that guy wasn't quite good enough, but he was fun to fuck, but he wasn't. But he wasn't.
That too.
Okay, well, hear me out. Because what happens is we kind of do women dirty in the sense so that we tell them, like, you need to go get the bag, you need to go to college, you need to go and basically follow the same kind of life plan or life track that a guy does, right? Because that's the key to success. And the reason for that is because guys ain't shit. Okay, guys are untrustworthy, they're incompetent, they're Homer Simpson, they're doofies, they're cringe, whatever, they're basically, you got 3 archetypes to choose from. You've got Homer Simpson, the doofy dad that needs a wife to sort of save him from himself. Then you've got the guy who's a borderline, he's going to be the narcissist. He's a borderline abuser, right? That women keep going back to, and they just can't seem to get away from that guy. And then recently we've got the incompetent guy. Thank you, millennials. The guys who can't drive a stick, the guys who can't change a tire, the guys who need to hire a plumber, the guys who need somebody to come and do something for them because they can't tie a bow tie. They can't tie a necktie, right? Those are the guys. If those are the 3 options, the archetypes that women have to choose from to marry and have children with, and they're like, I don't want any of those guys. I don't have anything to do with them. They've got to find some way to create their own security for themselves. And how do they do that? They go to school. They go and get the bag. They go and start a business. They go and go into theology or whatever. They go to school, whatever, because they can't trust a man to do those things, to be competent, to give them a sense of long-term security. I have so many women who say, I would never trust a man. I would never submit to a man because they're untrustworthy. They don't know what they're doing. I can provide for myself my own long-term security better than any guy that I have dated or any guy that I see out there right now. So the pickings and the selections are so poor. And that's exactly what this chick was saying in the video here, was like, these guys suck.
Correct.
And so because they suck, I have to be better to take care of myself, because I can't trust a man to take care of me and take care of my children.
And then nobody has babies.
Nobody, yeah, exactly. And no one has children as a result of that. And so what happens is it's this sort of existential fear for women that if I get with the wrong dude, then my whole life could be ruined. And so
Absolutely.
therefore I've
I've
got to
seen
have,
it.
I've got to
I've
build
seen
all
it.
of these contingencies into my life so that if shit goes sideways and he starts fucking his secretary and he wants to have a trophy wife and leave me later on when I'm not as hot as I used to be when I was in 25 and now I'm 35, I've got to be prepared. I have to have fail safes in place. So if this guy loses his shit in his mid 30s or mid 40s or whatever, I'm going to be taken care of. I want alimony. I want a solid divorce. I want to have all of these fail safes in place, whether it's societally or personally. And then what happens is no one has children. No one trusts anyone to the point where, like the way that we used to prior to the sexual revolution, prior to where we are right now in the 21st century, as opposed to the 20th century. So what you're saying and what I hear from, I'm seeing you nodding here, is like, I hear this from women all the time. Like, how do I find a guy? And I say, well, you need to start getting in touch with your inner feminine, your feminine energy, right? You need to get in touch with your femininity. And the problem is whenever I say that to them, they say, so what you're saying is I have to dumb myself down for guys who are not worth my fucking time because they're untrustworthy in the first place. And that's why men stay over here and women stay over here and never the two shall meet, because they both don't trust each other.
Well, sorry, I'll let someone else.
Go ahead.
Hold on.
Can I-
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Sure.
Okay, so I've been the woman that fully shows up for someone that wasn't prepared for me, right? Thank you.
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm new here.
You're good.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to say with that. It does take like a man showing up in his masculine, you know, for a woman to be kind of in her feminine. But yeah, I think the problem there is the mentality, like saying all men are shit, all men are this. That's the problem. You are naturally going to attract that, you know, what you're telling yourself. I think if you show up as your best self, you put your best self out there, then that's what you're going to attract. Right. So.
Well, we have girls on, generally we have girls on here that are on OnlyFans, or they're making like way more money than any guy who would ever make more than they would to bring them out of, to stop them from doing OnlyFans.
Consider you make $100,000 a month.
And it doesn't
So
have to
now-
be OnlyFans. It could be other things.
Now, the men you want to date make more than $100,000 a month. So that's the first thing. And then number two, like there are a certain group of men, believe it or not. I know ladies don't want to believe me when I say this. There's a certain group of men that are not going to date you because you're a sex worker. You might not know that they're doing it. And there may be so many men simping for you in your comments that you don't believe that any men would say no to you. But the reality is there's a lot of men who would say no to you. And so now the group of men that you can choose from gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And here's the other part. And Orion Taraban, I love the way he puts this. He's like, women are saying, I want commitment now, and then maybe sex is a possibility later. And then these men up here at the top are saying, I want sex now, and then commitment is a possibility later. And because we can't agree on the price of sex, then never the two shall meet. And we have the lowest number of people hooking up, the lowest marriage rate, and the lowest rate of fertility. That's what happens. You want to go to the next one?
Yeah, but before we do, I have to do this one super chat from our friend Tiffany.
What'd she say?
Ladies, face it, we're all doomed. Break out the dildos and rescue some cats and dogs.
Well, I would say, also think about it. Like when men are in their 20s, they're also very dumb. Like the brain isn't even fully developed.
So pick a 40-year-old man when you're in your 20s.
Well, no, or the brain isn't fully developed until when?
25.
35.
25.
I
don't know. Like Isaac Newton.
Isaac
Newton developed a differential calculus at 26
your
years old.
prefrontal cortex matures fully at 25 years.
Yeah, 25 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
that's why insurance companies won't
I've
insure
learned
the
that, I've
brain
learned
on
that the brain solidifies around 35. So I would definitely not
About
have
2 years.
like,
Real quick, does anybody else have anything to say about this? About like not being able to find a man that can live up to your standards? Norma, Michelle.
Well, you kind of said it earlier about how a man, like, they can impress a woman by, you know, taking them places that a girl can never go to and so forth.
Yeah.
But it's like, at least like with my job, especially what I do for my videos and all that, I can take myself there. So I have found it a little bit difficult when it comes to dating. A guy will be like, I want to take you somewhere you've never been. And they'll give me a list. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I've been to like all of these, and then like in the end they give up.
Can you imagine dating Norma Jelly somewhere in Vegas, and like the restaurant owners come out to her because they want her to like get good reviews on her show, and so like everywhere you go, people are taking pictures over there. Can you imagine that?
It's
does that ever happen?
It
have you been on dates before and people are like, oh my god, I love your channel?
Mhm.
Yes, I can imagine.
Yeah, I have, and it's fine. I mean, I definitely think it tests how the guy would, be in a relationship with me and how they can take it. But I mean, it's not like a negative, situation when someone does come up and say hello. It's usually a positive thing. So, and that's why, in a sense, I feel like I'm the man, because I'm like, oh, look, I'm showing like that I got a good life. I don't know.
Because you're producing resources, your own security, and the guys that aren't doing that, you don't want to have anything to do with them. Because for women, it's really two sides. It's the alpha fucks and beta bucks. Sorry, evolutionary psychologists, gatekeepers. But it's the guys who are hot and fun to have sex with, right? And then there's the guys who can provide you with provisioning, protection, and parental investment, right? And those are the guys who have resources. Those are the guys who have money. Those are the guys who care about, who like you and are nice to you. Those are the guys who are emotionally invested in you, and also financially and lifetime invested in you as well. And if you can provide those things better for yourself than any of those guys can, why would you fuck with them?
You were saying something, Michelle?
Okay, so someone told me this recently, and they were saying that like the girl that went like viral for like, I want a man in finance or whatever.
6'5",
she like did
blue eyes, blue eyes.
The statistics that she said in it, and the probability of like which ones were actually single and not single. There was only 2 of them.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you know that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
So like that's crazy to me. Like out of all that, and people like look up to it. There's only 2 people, and those people are probably even dating people themselves.
Yeah, it is pretty nuts when you see it.
It's pretty rare.
And what kind of jades it for some of those people? Maybe
so
they're in New York.
It's not like a thing that's common.
Yes.
And everyone's like, oh, this is my like expectations of what I want for people, but it's very rare that those people you can actually have and have yourself. They do exist, obviously, but like it's rare that you can actually find a person like that.
Was it 2 in New York or 2 in the world? Was it?
I heard it was. I don't know. I don't know. I think it was 2 in the world, or
I think it was 2. No, there was one. There was one where they were showing there was like 2 but it wasn't 6'5" with blue eyes like that. It's like there's probably 2 in the country that are available
that were single. They narrowed it down,
and in the right age range.
They narrowed it down. The same
6'5" and blue eyes and 65 years old is not included.
Who's in finance? Who's single? Who's everything? And it was actually, I think it was 2 in the world.
Yeah, I know a lot of broke dudes in finance, by the way. That's
and
those
2 people are most likely probably in
Yeah.
relationships or like have girls on the side too. So your probability of finding somebody like that is like less than having a kid when you're 50.
Yeah. And some things aren't realistic, but like again, side note, my sister-in-law, when she was in her 20s, she had a miscarriage. Her first kid, she had at 31. Her second kid, she had at 38. My other friend that I know who was in college with me, she had her last 4 boys from 32 to 37. Now, my second friend from college, Indian girl, she just had her second boy at 37. So I'm just saying, and these are just 3 random people that I know that's close to me. So I'm just saying you can't. And they didn't go through life freaking out like, oh my God, I'm not 25. It's over. You know what I mean? So I would say like, don't put that type of.
We didn't say freak out at 25. At 35, freak out. That's what we're saying.
At 40, really freak out.
And at 38, she had her second kid.
I'm 33 and I'm kind of low key freaking out. So,
does anybody want to be nice and have babies with Michelle Brittany Martin?
Yes. Hit us up.
By the way, big enough super chat. I'll set a day up.
Here we go.
I want to ask you about the kind of rise in people saying, oh, you should have like multiple girlfriends and stuff like this, right? So
what do you think I'm going to say to this?
I want to, so there's 2 sides. There's obviously like the practical side of things in terms of like, should you do that or not? But I also want to discuss from like the women's perspective, the psychological impacts of a guy who who has multiple girlfriends. But I want to give the caveat that the guy takes care of financially, but he's also there like emotionally for like the children, and he's also like plays a big part in that.
Yeah.
So that's obviously like a lot to do, but yeah.
Here's the thing. Women that accept cheating men are cheating women. It's really that simple. And women who don't accept cheating men are the loyal ones. So if you're going to cheat on your wife and you're going to cheat on your partner and you think, but I'm looking after her, so it's okay. And the red pill community really pushes that. Here's what they're not realizing. Only unfaithful women are okay with that deal. I promise you. I work with them every single day. What happens is the woman that's actually loyal and really loves you, she can't handle the anxiety of it. She can't do it because she's too loyal, she's too loving, this, that, and the other. She disappears, she makes her life hell, she's horrible, whatever it is, but she's
tends to be loyal. But the woman who is there for a paycheck and who's there sneaky, accepting it, this, that, and the other, I promise you she's plotting her revenge, because in this day and age, the loyal woman, and where she would just stay at home and just close the door when you would do something, they don't exist anymore. We have to accept that doesn't exist anymore. So if that woman doesn't exist anymore, and yet you want to do that lifestyle, accept that only the women that are able to take a financial rather than an emotional investment are going to stay. You're filtering it out. Those women tend to be disloyal. So if you are going to create that dynamic, be prepared that you're also getting it back, but she's not telling you, and she's doing it using your wallet.
And that's when it gets even more of like
I've never
issue.
seen it not work that way. Never. Maybe because I deal in big cities and stuff. Maybe it's different in rural areas and this, that, and the other way. The women doesn't have it. But the reality is it takes a certain type of woman that accepts that. And that type of woman is the one that's like, okay, I'm going to keep quiet. But honey.
That's so dangerous. You know what I mean? Like the whole.
Here's what it is. The children suffer.
That's what I mean. Yeah, it's going to be back to the core, and that generation continue on.
In my experience of seeing couples where both are doing that, the only people that suffer are the children, because mum is disconnected, dad is disconnected, and they're not connected to each other. When they're connected to each other, the shared goal is the children.
Okay, cool. Ladies, anybody want to say anything about this? So only women who would accept a man who has multiple girlfriends. She called it cheating. It's not cheating, by the way, if you're open about it. Only a man who would accept a man who has multiple girlfriends would only do so because she's also cheating. What do you think?
Yeah, that's just weird. That's weird. Yeah, I would have to say you would have to be open on both ends. So yeah, she would have to be open on her end.
So you don't think there's any possibility that a guy could have multiple girlfriends and his main girl is not sleeping around with someone else?
No, actually, that is possible, and I've seen it. So women can be totally.
Wait, you've seen it? Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Absolutely.
And so she's okay. So we're anecdotal information and anecdotal information. Interesting. Go ahead, Michelle. What do you think?
I mean, I kind of went through this, but I mean, it's kind of like, if I don't know how to say it, but I'm just gonna go off my experience. If you're not getting it from someone, they're getting it from someone else, kind of thing. But if it's like a known thing that you already know, say long distance, where like like you're kind of like doing your thing, but it's like you already know it's not working out with you guys, but it's more the comfortability realm where you're just comfortable and you don't want to leave because you've been together for so long. Exactly. Then you both know, but you guys don't want to cut off. I can see that aspect of it, but no girl is going to be okay with some guy cheating on her and having multiple people. And it's even if it's justified as like cheating, like it's not. I don't think that is, unless you're spoken about it and like you're okay with that and that's what you're into and stuff like that.
It's not healthy though.
Norma, what do you think?
I don't know, but my guess would be that if a woman is okay with her man having multiple girlfriends, or if he's cheating, is because she is scared to be on her own. Maybe they have like multiple children and she just doesn't want to like go back out there and find like a new man, or maybe she's a stay-at-home mom and doesn't have a job. So if she leaves him because he's cheating,
but 100% of the time, 100% of the time, she's also cheating. That's what she said.
No.
That's what.
No, I think it could be because she is scared of, hey, if I leave him because he has other girlfriends and I don't have a job now, I'm out on my own, and I think it's just being scared.
Or what the other girl failed to mention is maybe the girl's like also okay with it. Like they also like it's an understanding where like the guy can have multiple girlfriends, but as long as the girl is like included in it also, like the guy can't be excluded.
What an interesting idea! Never heard of that, Sadia. What an interesting idea!
But
Can't
like
wait. Okay, go ahead. What do you think?
So not me personally, but I've seen this dynamic in other people, like people that I care about. I've just seen it. And I agree with her. I said, I think that typically it's because, he's providing and maybe that she has kids and she's financially dependent. I've seen that dynamic. Yeah. So that's.
What do you think?
I don't think that the woman is cheating as well if the man is at all. I think that, maybe they both have an open relationship, but I don't think that the woman is doing it behind his back. I do think that men, which I don't know this for sure, but I think that men typically probably sleep in an open relationship and the woman doesn't do it more than you see a woman doing it also. But I don't think that either's cheating if it's an open relationship.
Okay, beautiful. The answer to this one is very, very clear. She did not bring up any studies because there are no studies, because this is obviously nonsense. Obviously, I know tons of guys who have multiple girlfriends and they provide for them and the girlfriends are faithful. I have seen it. The idea that she says there's a 100% correlation. Now, are there times where guys have multiple girlfriends and the girl's like, okay, I'm going to cheat too? I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but her data was on her experience as a doctor. That was her. And I'm like, no, there's no data on this. In fact, if you go back to the Bible, this entire our society was based on individuals, where polyamory or polygyny was very, very common, meaning one man with multiple wives. I'm not saying that's the only way to do it, but the idea that because a man has multiple wives, that all of those women are cheating. Hey, hello, Islam. All of Islam. Hello, all of Islam. You can have 4 wives. So every single one of those wives are cheating, according to Sadia Khan. Again, this is one of these things where what she's doing is called talking her book. This is something that she probably feels in her relationship. Yeah. She wants to be true. So she's expressing that it's true in every case. It's clearly not true in every case. And especially if you deal with polygynous couples that date women together, they're like a male and a female heterosexual couple that date women together, which I know, I live in Las Vegas. You and I probably know 30, 40 couples like this. The woman is not cheating behind the man's back. That's not what's going on. She didn't bring that part up either. So this is kind of disappointing, because I agree with most of the stuff that Sadia Khan says. This is clearly something where she's saying, because she needs to feel like it's true, this is not true. It is true sometimes. It is true sometimes. I don't think it's true most of the time. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Nothing?
No, I'll drop in here real quick. No, I was going to say, first of all, Sadia Khan is not a clinical psychologist, and her credentials are in doubt. So I'll just start with that.
I want you to come on the call.
Yeah.
Come on my show, Sadia. Don't come on his.
I know. I'm happy to have her on. I'm happy to have her on. That'll be the first.
We will wine and dine
your ass. That will be the first thing
here.
out of my mouth when you come on this table.
We'd love to have you on, Sadia.
Anyways, the idea is that she's saying what she thinks sounds right, just like the guy who's sitting across from her.
Right.
He's dancing around this in the first place. Can I ask this question, please?
He's very uncomfortable.
Yeah, he's very uncomfortable even proposing this to her, because he probably knows what she's going to say, right? And the fact of the matter is, it's like she throws this and wipes this off on the red pill community. And it's like, no, that's not what the red pill's about. That's a practice. That's not like the praxeology of the red pill. And I'm so sick of people putting like practices as this is the ideology, this is the philosophy, this is this, and it's so that's number one. The other thing is that we both know an individual.
Of course, he's the guy who sent me the video.
Who sent you the video and wanted us to opine about this.
The guy who sent me the video right now has
Yes.
babies with his baby's mama and dates and the two of them date other women together.
And we know,
and it's just absurd. Like the whole thing is absurd. Like it's just one of these situations where it's like she said the thing she needed to feel was right.
Yeah.
And the other part about it was
playing to a moralistic audience right now, because that's what's playing this.
How scared the guy was in front of her, like even bringing it up. Okay, so just so you're clear, if you guys read the Rational Male, it doesn't say anything about having multiple girlfriends.
Right.
It says about spinning plates, meaning I can
dating
date
non-exclusively.
Dating non-exclusively is not the same thing as having multiple girlfriends. And this is the part. So what he needed to do was he remember when he's talking to Sadia Khan, because he's afraid of the reaction, he goes, but that's what those red pill guys say.
Right.
Oof, okay, I'm safe now, because I said that's what the red pill guys, which they didn't. If you want to do that, that's fine. But what people in the red pill say is spin multiple plates, date non-exclusively multiple people.
Yes.
Ladies, have at any point in your life, have you dated multiple people non-exclusively? Have you gone on dates? Raise your hand. Have you dated non-exclusively? Crazy. Sadia, they must all be cheating.
Yes. There's something wrong with them. They must be like damaged.
They must be damaged, immature.
Yes.
It's just so funny. It's like whenever I hear this stuff, I keep waiting for the study or the source, but because there is no source, because there's no way you're going to be able to prove this is true, because it's not true. There's tons of women out there, like all of Mormon, all of the Mormon Church, all of the of Islam. They do this, the polygynous lifestyle. I'm not recommending it for people, but I'm just saying the idea that it would never work is preposterous.
So let's get back to when we were talking about how women have to create their own security, right? You only have the choices of the abuser, the incompetent, or Homer Simpson. Those are your choices, ladies. You don't get anybody else, right? But when the one guy who's in the 4.5% of men who comes out and he is rich, he's good looking, he's 6 feet tall, 6-pack abs, finance, blue eyes, trust fund, 6'5", all that crap. When that guy comes along, guess what? He gets sexual selection that all the other motherfuckers that you were trying to get with before doesn't get. And so what happens is women are far more likely to share a successful alpha than they would rather share that successful alpha than be saddled with a faithful beta. That's red pill. That's out of my book. Yes, they would rather share that man, however that works out, whether it's in marriage, whether it's in he's got multiple girlfriends and he's not dating non-exclusively. That guy can do that. You know why? Because he is such a rare animal on planet Earth right now that women go, you know what? Maybe if I just keep up.
But she's
up the
plotting
good
her
work.
revenge. She's
Yes,
plotting her
she's
revenge.
Damaged goods.
She's damaged. She's
Yes,
plotting her revenge.
She's doing it herself.
By the way, we have someone who are nodding, guys. Let me welcome the last member of the panel here. This is Jolie Diane. She's from Dallas, Texas, and she is a trophy wife.
Yes.
She is a
and
former trophy
Jolie,
wife.
I have your glasses for you.
Good for you. Good for you.
Awesome, Jolie. What do you think about this? A man, they'd rather be.
I just don't want to know.
Huh?
You don't want to know.
You can do your thing. I just don't want to know.
You can do your thing. You just don't want to know.
I don't want to know.
Okay, but would you ever fuck around behind
No,
his
I
back?
wouldn't.
No?
Because it would to me like it just like destroys that man's alpha.
Okay.
Like the man's no longer alpha if you're going out and sleeping. But of course he needs to make sure that he provides and is like security enough to where like I would definitely say.
Again,
No,
my issue with what Sadia Khan said is that this is the case every time. Every time a man has multiple partners, every time the girls are cheating, and that just isn't true. I know as many examples of where it isn't true as she claims to know examples where it is. And by the way, as a therapist, is she dealing with couples that are doing well?
No.
Or is she dealing with couples that are troubled? So now what it is it's a selection bias in the couples that she's choosing.
Yeah, she's speaking in black and white terms from her experience, but the reality is just nuance is human error and people do different things.
Yep. Chris, this one right here.
Well, let me add one more thing to this conversation here. First off, when you're dealing with that one rare animal there and sharing that one guy, there has to be sort of a compromise. And so that doesn't necessarily mean a woman is necessarily damaged for doing something like that. And I think that when we throw out words like that and saying that it's an easy dismissal to say that well, anybody who would be involved in that kind of a situation must have daddy issues. They must have,
because it hurts her narrative.
Yes, it hurts the narrative.
One girl would
yes.
accept that lifestyle and not cheat. It hurts her narrative. And then here's the other problem. Now that woman is now more desirable. Do you understand?
Yeah.
More because of that attribute, she's now more desirable than Sadia. That's the problem. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
And I'll tell you something else. You want to know who probably had this conversation with her? Her partner.
Yeah,
her partner
most
probably
likely.
had a
Most likely,
hey, Sadia, I love you, but you travel so much. You're doing all these
Please
podcasts.
come to Vegas.
You travel so much. You're doing all these podcasts. I'd like to see other people while you're gone. And she's like, no, that can never happen. No, because what happens now, if her answer is anything other than that, then her partner comes back and is like, oh wait, but you said that the men can have multiple partners. You travel all the time. You barely have any time for me. If one woman would accept that reality, her narrative cracks. Yeah. That's the reason why she believes it. And we call it talking your book. It's like when Elon Musk says Tesla's awesome. Because he owns stock in Tesla. He's saying Tesla's awesome. He's talking his own interests. We say talking your book. Sadia Khan here is talking her own book. She's trying to express something that makes it's more convenient for her narrative.
Well, it also goes back to we live in the 20th century. And you're still thinking that relationships are governed by 20th century relationship, ideals. And the fact of the matter is, now that we are in the state that we're in, here we are close to 24 years into the 21st century right now. Guess what? We're trying to realign and trying to figure out just what the fuck is going on. When we look at like marriage rates of being like 6.1 per 1,000 right now, we look at the divorce rates, we look at as I was just saying, the two will never meet. The two will never come together until there's some sort of mutual compromise, and neither one of them wants to blink. It's just this big mutual global sexual marketplace game of chicken right now. And so when this kind of stuff happens and they have these really kind of disingenuous conversations, it doesn't help the fact that people are on like men and women are on opposing sides. Then they try to make it political and say that, oh, women are going to be more liberal and men are going to be more conservative. And that even further divides the gender. So anyways, let's get to some of these super chats here real quick. If dive bar tacos don't make you smile, you are too high maintenance. Do you ladies agree?
Do you guys do they need to wine and dine you?
Yes. I got so
yeah.
much McDonald's earlier today. My fast food go-to. I eat McDonald's every day and like literally $1.
Wait, you can give her McDonald's and just be nice to her.
I was talking about
That's
that
all
today.
you have to do, fellas.
There's hope out
there. There's hope out there.
I just love McDonald's. That's my go-to.
You two can get.
I actually got like $30 worth of McDonald's before I came here.
Nice.
So.
That's funny. Is this
Dream day? Dollar menu from McDonald's.
This dude thought he got you, and you're like, no, man, that's actually pretty.
No,
cool.
I eat like a little kid. I like the dinosaur chicken nuggets, like the McDonald's, like
chicken nuggets, yes, mac and cheese.
McDonald's. I do like probably like the Kraft macaroni and cheese. It's
Hell
more
yes.
cheaper every day. I love.
Anything else?
I
just show up with a gift basket like
all right, next one. Here we go. Hypno Crab says, shout out to Mr. Sartain. Appreciate your interaction today. Shout out to Rolo. F&F crew represent. Oh, that must have been the fresh and fit crew are in the house. Yay. Okay, last one here. Rational Redneck says, I've heard Michael say that the top 10% of men and the top 43% of women get 63% of the right swipes on dating apps.
Yes.
What is the exact source for this statistic? I've been trying to find this for a while.
It actually comes from, I got to go back and the first time I heard it. So it is the top 10% of men get 63% of right swipes. The top 20% of men get 83% of the right swipes. I'd have to go back and look it up, but I believe it's eHarmony data that might be it, or it's one of, or it might be
like
one
Match,
of, or it might, no, it was one of the, no, because it's right swipe. So it was either Tinder, Bumble, or Hinge. I think it was a Tinder study where they came up with this, but I have
it
to go back and look.
right here.
Oh, you have it?
Yes, it just came out with where did it go? There it is. How men and women rate each other on dating websites. I'll put the link in the chat so you guys can go check
cool.
it out.
Yeah, I know. I'd seen it multiple times.
I have the exact,
and I was so blown away. I fucking memorized those numbers. So yeah. Good. No, good question. I do appreciate when you guys ask for sources.
All right, which one are we doing next?
This one right here.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Guys, we're gonna do one of these every week.
Okay.
As long as he keeps doing this shit, we're gonna keep doing. We're gonna keep reacting to it.
Hey babe, your phone keeps going to voicemail. Just trying to make sure you okay. You and your girls haven't posted anything actually on your stories about the concert, so just want to make sure y'all are safe and having a good time. But I'll be out here waiting.
Oh man!
Every guys, you can say whatever you want. Every week, this is a new Chris Brown article. What do you guys think about this?
I literally sent this to my friend today.
What do you think about it, Michelle?
I think it's funny. I mean, I don't think there's harm in it because it's like you can go like that's Thunder Down Under. You could pull on stage, whatever. It's not like she's probably leaving with Chris Brown, but like I just think it's funny.
I think that any woman who would pay Chris Brown $1,200,
$1,200.
No, but like he's doing a photo thing. Any woman who would pay Chris Brown $1,200 to take a photo with him would fuck Chris Brown.
Oh yeah, but it doesn't mean Chris Brown's gonna fuck them.
Yeah,
too.
but as a
You
man,
can't fuck, like,
I don't
like,
care.
3,000 girls
as a
mine.
man, I don't want a woman taking my credit card to pay $1,200 to a man she would fuck. I'm sorry. I'm not interested in that. No, the ticket's separate. Like it's $1,200. So you're going to take your man's money to pay another man to grab your ass, and then like don't even have the decency to do it on the DL. Like hooking up with Chris Brown in the backstage is one thing. You're going to take a photograph of it so that she can post it on her social media with our money. Are you out of your fucking mind? And then afterwards, I'm supposed to believe it wasn't a big deal. Any dude you're going to pay $1,200 to take a photo with, you would fuck him. That is the truth. Sorry. Anyway, anybody else have any
That's
thoughts
really
about
happening. Girls are paying
hundreds
so
of women.
Not him calling girls on stage. They're
No, that's a different thing. Yeah, probably, but
I remember the one
look
of the
up Chris Brown photos.
The guy that broke up with the girlfriend
Yeah,
because he
I
got
saw
her
that.
butt. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
And he should have. I don't know why anyone
Yeah.
thought that was weird.
Yeah.
He should. It's like Riley Reid. You remember her the other day? She was like, "Yeah, I would fuck these guys on camera, and then afterward, I come home and it was weird because my partner didn't even want to kiss me." And I'm like, "Is that weird? Is that weird? You fucked a dude on camera, and I don't want to kiss you? Is that weird, dude?" If I was just dating a girl casually, I wouldn't want to kiss her. That's not fucking weird. There's nothing weird about not wanting to kiss a girl who just fucks some other dude. That's not weird. I'm sorry. I'm not bigoted for thinking that. I'm not even fucking closed-minded. That is weird as shit.
Neither is bleach baths.
Bleach baths where? Where's the bleach bath?
Wait, what are bleach baths?
What's bleach
I never
bath?
heard of that.
Actually, exfoliates skin, it cleans you. Like it
Wait,
kills
what
it
are you
exfoliates skin and kills
Jolie,
you.
this is very interesting, but I don't understand what this has to do with what we're talking about. Go ahead.
Because it's dirty, so she's dirty.
Oh, yeah.
It's emotionally, even emotionally. I just emotionally don't want to be the second dude who was in you today. I'm sorry. It doesn't make me fucking weird. I'm sorry. Call me weird. I know. I get it. I know. 10 years from now, I'm going to be running for public office and be like, did you see Michael Sartain said it was strange to not kiss a woman after she fucked another guy? Canceled. Fuck that guy. We're not inviting him to the Olympics. He's not going to be walking around in the Olympics. Nuh-uh. That's crazy, bro. I'm just sorry. That's nuts.
For sure, she definitely needs to be single if she's doing that. You can't be up there rubbing on Chris Brown.
Yeah, but that's my point. It's like,
should be doing
but here's
that.
the thing. You want to know what probably every
boyfriend.
single one of those women who paid Chris Brown $1,200 for it, you know what they all have in common? Their fucking boyfriend's credit card. Because not one single one of those girls would pay with their own money to take a fucking picture with Chris Brown. There's no way, if you understand the value of the dollar, that you would spend $1,200. If it's someone else's money, you would. If it's someone else, if I'm going to McDonald's with someone else's credit card, I'm ordering 3 orders of fries, right? But you're telling me with these women,
dive bar tacos.
Hey, you know what's something? Hey, tell me real quick. The epidemic of women paying for bottles at Marquee. How's that working out? How many are doing
No,
that?
it's all guys.
In a
And
year,
the guys hook up
in a-
with the girls hook up with guys so they don't have to buy it. They're single drinks
in a
and they
year,
get free bottle service.
in a year, how many females at Marquee even do a 5K minimum? How many in a year?
It's like out of every
bachelorette
probably
groups.
40
Michael, only
tables,
see this
maybe we'll
happens
get
in
4 or
Boston.
5.
That's it.
You might
Just
get
Boston.
actually
A day,
4 or
a
5.
Like
day,
bachelorette groups or something.
Yeah, bachelorette groups
Yeah.
of like
But they don't
probably,
get comps?
No,
That's
no,
what-
I'm saying like if they're celebrating their birthday, there's 15 girls.
Yeah.
It makes sense to do
Chip
it
in,
by
yeah.
women. You know, they're
Okay.
what like 150 each.
But it's pretty. It's
But with
less
the
than
girls,
5%.
The GA
Yeah.
people are all after like the
Yeah.
people for their bottles, and they're all mainly guys. Like, yeah, sure. There's like probably 50, like say 50 tables, maybe 10, like 5, maybe 7, maybe max 10 would be girls, and
Yeah.
then 40 plus 50 would be
Okay,
guys.
so my point is, women are not buying.
Yeah, they're not buying
women
bottles.
Women are not buying bottles.
But they always have the Venmo post that like
the
here's the
Venmo
here.
post.
It's
If women are-
fine, it's fine,
Hold on.
it's my
And
best
if
friend's
women's-
wedding.
True.
Venmo the
Hold
Venmo
on.
does.
And even of those ones she's saying,
That's the
let's
bottle
not count
sign.
the ones that are buying bottles with their boyfriend or husband's credit card. Okay, that's the point I'm trying to make. The idea that these women are paying $1,200 to Chris Brown, you're working hard as fuck at your job, and then you're going to pay $1,200 to get a photo with you and Chris Brown that is going to ensure that no man wants to date you. Get the fuck out of here. The only reason why you're doing this is because you're dating a simp and you have his credit card. That is the only possible reason why you would ever do this stuff. So my point is, it's not just bad that they're doing this. Do it, whatever. Take a picture with whoever you want. It's bad that they're doing this with someone else's money, then posting it. That's what makes it so fucking crazy. There is no way I would tolerate something like this. This is so far out of bounds. It's insane. You know, she did it once while she was single and it was free. Whatever. You know, it's like you hooked up with a celebrity. Okay, whatever. I don't give a fuck. But like the idea that you do it repeatedly or that you paid them, that is crazy to me. That is fucking nuts.
Speaking of dive bar day. Oh, wait, before we do that, hold on. I've got one. Here we go. Let's see. King Playboy says, I wear Playboy clothes and women point at my shirt and say, boyfriend, and I'm the fuck. It says playa. Why do women put players in the boyfriend zone? Ladies.
Isn't that crazy?
Have you ever put a player in the boyfriend zone?
Have you guys ever tried to tame a player? Anybody? Okay, so all of you are liars? That's crazy.
No, I just
Imagine
when I was
that.
young, like that bad boy aspect.
Yes, okay.
Like, yeah,
There you go.
that's
So
what I'm
at least she's well, go ahead.
Yes, and it's literally the law of attachment. It's like the more you chase something, inevitably it's gonna reject you. The more you kind of like leave it alone, let it be.
It's the Zoolander effect. I couldn't have you before, but now I can, and so now I want it.
Yeah.
It's
They're
like
the
the-
forbidden fruit.
Anybody else like tried it, gone after a guy who'd been very experienced? Anyone else? You're just all gonna
Yeah, I
lie.
know.
Okay.
I feel like girls are
You're
kind of
just all
like more
gonna lie.
players than guys
Interesting.
sometimes. So
Okay, listen to me, guys. The Alan Roger Curry got this correct. Phoenix Fearless, we talked about this. They got this correct. This idea that the player motif is bad for you is not true. No matter how much you hear people complain about it, it is not true. Guys, the only guys who I ever hear complaining about it are like really good looking guys who have a girl tell them, I don't like the fact that you talk to all these girls. And that's because these guys have no game. They only use their looks in order to get women. The idea that you come off like a player and that hurts you with women in general is not true. I'm not saying there aren't some girls that are like, I'm just not going to fuck with that guy. The number of women who will notice you increases because of pre-selection. The data is in, the studies are conclusive. That's the way the world works. And everyone wants you to believe anything other than that. This is what I said before. The way for you as a man to show masculine boundaries has never been easier because the entire world is telling you to do the opposite. That's why. The entire world is having you watch the Olympics, watch Hitch, watch fucking, like, that's what the world is telling you to do. It's like that fucking guy who was afraid of Sadiq Khan. It's like that. That's what the world is telling you to act like. And the reality of the situation is it is not like that. I'm not saying that there aren't some women out there like, yeah, I don't want to fuck with a guy who's a player. But the idea that guys who are players don't get girls, no, because if they didn't get girls, what would they wouldn't be? If they didn't get girls, what they would. I had a girl, she literally commented on my thing. Is like, if I saw a guy with a bunch of girls, I would think he's gay or a player. This would never work on me. And I'm like, go back and read your comment, honey. If a guy is a player, that means he gets women. That's the point. If this didn't work, then he couldn't be a player because he wouldn't get any women. It's just so crazy to me. It's like, oh, this works on every other girl, but this would never work on me. Got it. Understand.
All right. Here we go. Coffee dates.
Don't do coffee dates.
No problem. We can just go get alcohol-free drinks somewhere.
How about dinner?
If she insists on dinner for the first date, she's probably more interested in the steak than in you. Any woman who truly wants to get to know you won't mind it being coffee or alcohol-free drinks in a bar. Yes, you can do dinner for the first date, but to be honest, it's actually a really good pre-screening mechanism. Does she want the food or does she want you?
Anybody have any ideas about this?
Foodie calls.
You think so?
I think if I was genuinely interested in someone, I really wouldn't care what it's.
You go wherever he asks.
The effort. It's the effort. It's like, okay, this man genuinely wants to like get to know me, spend some time with me. The pre-screening, it makes sense, right? Especially if you're dating and you're in your 30s and you're really trying to weed the wrong people out if you have good intentions. So yeah,
got it.
Yeah.
Would you have had a different opinion if you were in your 20s or early 20s?
No.
No.
Because I think I've always been a relationship girl.
Got it.
Like I've always wanted, yeah.
I think a coffee date is kind of easier too, because if it doesn't go well, then it's easier out.
Yes.
So like the dinner date has more of a like you're there longer.
Commitment.
Yeah. So like not that dinner's bad, but I'm not against a coffee date because you can feel it out faster too.
Norma.
Yeah.
I think if you don't know the guy very well, I think as a woman or a lot of women, they'll be like, I don't know who this person is. I deserve the best, so I want to be taken to dinner. But yes, I have accepted coffee dates, whatever it is, because I did like the guy. But I think if you don't know who this person is, then you'd be like, no, let's go to dinner.
Jolie.
I normally would say like spoil me, but at this moment I've been on a couple really bad dates where I've like gone literally I went out the back door and called my
I cannot wait to hear about these. These
oh
are
my
incredible.
God.
Oh, we're
So,
gonna
but
go over these a little bit.
I actually like the coffee idea.
I love the
because then
former
you can
trophy
run
wife
quick.
telling us about the bad dates. This is so great. I fucking love this.
Former.
Everything about this
Help,
makes me
I'm
happy.
kidding.
Awesome. Stacey, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with all of you guys. First off, coffee is freaking awesome. So I have gotten excited over coffee dates, like super excited. But yeah, like if you're serious about getting to know someone, for sure, then the date can be flexible. Definitely coffee is awesome anyway. So
Michelle Martin.
Yeah.
Okay, it's fine. Well, I'll help you out with this. Okay. I would agree with him, except he's wrong about coffee dates because one thing we had a Ryan Teraband here. One of the things he said is a date is what? Do you remember? Do you remember what it was, Tristan? It's a connection and an opportunity for sex. A connection and an opportunity for sex. If there's no opportunity for sex, it's not a date. It actually isn't. A coffee date has no opportunity for sex because it's during the middle of the fucking day. And so I would disagree with him on that. The reason why he's saying what he's saying is because he's wealthy and he shows signs of wealth. If you show signs of wealth, then yes, I understand why he's doing that. He's like, because I've been showing signs of wealth. I consistently have women try to use me for money. So taking them to a nice dinner is taking them down the wrong path. I would take coffee date, I would remove it, and I would put in mini golf. I would put in going to the fair. I would put in axe throwing. I would put in something else that's fun, or even just like he said, non-alcoholic drinks. Why is he saying that? Because they're cheaper. That he's not saying it because he doesn't want people to get drunk. He's being used for money, so that's his reality. That's why he's saying that. I highly recommend, gentlemen, that if you like a girl, I would not accept coffee dates. It's usually women who are suggesting coffee dates because they feel unsafe. And also, don't split the idea halfway. It's like a girl needs to come to a place that's near your place. If she's specifically picking a place that's 45 minutes away from either one of your locations, she's doing so because she wants to let you know that we're going to have coffee in a public place during the daytime, and there is no possibility for sex. If there is no possibility for sex, gentlemen, listen, remember my whole thing about attention and compliance. If there is no possibility for sex, then this is not a date. You are getting attention from a woman, but you're not getting compliance. If I was going to go on a date with a woman, we're going to go on a date over here. I live next to the Aria. We're going to a place inside the Aria. We can go to Javier's or we can go to fucking Mastro's. We can go to any place that you want to go in there, but it's right next to my apartment. Because even if you don't, and this is back when I was single, even if you don't want to have sex with me, the idea that we're going to go on a date and there's no possibility that we're going to go have sex, that means we're not on a date. Does everybody understand that? And I'm trying to straighten this up for gentlemen. I'm not saying that the guy's wrong. What I'm saying is this is a guy who's probably wealthy, and usually women are very attracted to him when he goes out on a date. And so he's trying to screen for financial predators. And in what he's saying, he's correct in not going to dinner, but I think he's wrong about the coffee date. I think there's what you should do. And again, Ryan Teraband says this, and I think it's really great. Do something you'd be doing anyway. Everyone in the world who follows me knows my favorite dessert on the planet is the butter cake at fucking Mastro's. Yes. It's unbelievable. I would go have the butter. Let me tell you something right now.
Remember?
Yes, for sure. We would go to get the butter cake at Mastro's, and if the girl got up and said, "Fuck you, Michael Sartain," fuck you and the fucking horse you rode in on, you stupid motherfucker, and walked in, I would look at that butter cake and I wouldn't even think twice. I'd be like, more butter cake for me, bitch.
I don't even like sweets, but he was like, we gotta try this butter cake.
Dude, it's so good. It's like the butter cake at Mastro's is like a Krispy Kreme donut with milk in a cake. That's what it takes. It's so, I wish it was open right now, bro. It's so good. I used to go there and we'd get champagne and butter cake and nothing else. I wouldn't even order entrees. It was dope. Like Norma's nodding her head. You sit at the bar and do that. Why? Because I'd be doing that anyway. If you weren't even fucking here, girl, I don't give a shit. I would be doing that anyway. I recommend you guys go do things like Area 15. Area 15 is fucking cool. One of the coolest things about Las Vegas, Nevada is that we have Area 15. That place is so dope. You can even take kids there. The place, they have dubstep concerts and art displays. That place is fucking awesome. And I would go there even if I wasn't dating your ass. I would still go there. And that's what I recommend you do.
So that's what I do. So on every single date I do, I'm obsessed. I'm a big fair girl. Like if you like, I go to all the fairs. Orange County Fair, my favorite ride's the Zipper. I go play games. I love basketball. I'm the best at basketball. And like Dame Buster. So on every date, I always do that. And I don't like drink coffee. I'm not going to go on a coffee date. I'm not going to waste my time to drive to a coffee date when I'm not interested in that. My first date, I'll be like, let's have a drink. I have social anxiety. So like, I want to have an icebreaker. I want to play basketball. I want to go on the Zipper. I want to see if they can keep up with me. And it's not even about the money. I'll pay for them to go on it because like you said, I would do it with or without them. I just want someone to ride on the ride so I don't ride with a stranger.
EDC. EDC.
So I'm a single rider.
San Gennaro Festival. All the things here in Vegas.
Then it's like, cool. Okay, we get along.
Skrillex is playing September 1st over at XS. I'm taking you coming?
Yeah, you
go.
All
right, all right. I've got like a comp for Skrillex on September 1st. I'm bringing a bunch of girls there. And you know what's going to happen if none of the girls show up? I am going to get in a motherfucking mosh pit right in front of Skrillex. I'd be going there one way or the other. I do things I would do anyway. And that's what you guys should do. You should have enough of a fulfilling life that women get to join you for it, and then it's fun. I just happen to also like fucking Javier's and SDK and Masters. I like going there because I like going there. Those places are cool. So that's the whole thing. But if you're afraid of financial predators, what he's saying isn't wrong. I just would not recommend coffee dates. I think that's a bad idea.
I also have in my I'm fairly sure this is where Teraband took it, but like from my own essays, I've talked about coffee dates not being actual dates. They're safe, what I call safe dates.
Because there's no opportunity for sex.
Opportunity for sex. You're not at a lounge. You're not at a.
Is that your only?
No, we can have contact.
It's not the only thing. I'll tell you why. Because a coffee date is a safe date. That's what I'm saying. Meaning like you're in maybe you're at like Starbucks or wherever your favorite coffee house kind of thing, and you can have those conversations. Usually when women suggest a coffee date, it's usually because I don't trust this guy 100% and I need to be in a public place in case shit goes sideways. Straight out of my essays from like as far back as like 2012, so there's zero chance for sex. And it's not that guys are like, well, I better go and take her to the freaking lounge so that she can have 3 martinis, right? It's that the reason why that seems like a good idea is, at least to women anyways, is because it's a safe place, right? It's a public place. If the guy turns out to be a creep or he's like really weird, then at least I have the option to bug out, and there's a whole bunch of people that are around me and they're all stone cold sober because they're all high on freaking caffeine and sugar.
Shout out to caffeine and sugar, by the way.
Hell yeah, I love it.
Caffeine and sugar.
No problem.
Vegas.
Yes.
Sponsored
we
by,
love the caffeine
sponsored
and
by
sugar.
caffeine and sugar.
Yes, we love
not-
Titan cookies,
not just
baby.
that,
Titan,
it's a safe-
Titan energy cookies.
But it's again, that's straight out of my essays from the early era, which is, and I talked about this then, is that it's basically what women will suggest if they're trying to feel you out, right,
Correct.
to make sure that you're okay, and then maybe they'll go, okay, now we can go to Zook, you know. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's another, like, for me,
it's
like,
pre-screening.
again,
It's a pre-screening.
Yeah,
Again,
is what it
often
is.
dates for
Yes.
me were very frequently, we'd find a cool DJ, like whatever, and then I would take her on stage, and if it worked out, cool. And if she saw somebody else she like, fucking take your credit card out, do it with me, guys, and you charge it to the game, and you just move the fuck on. That's the way it works, okay? Take your credit card out, you charge it to the game. I like it. Like these hoes, they for everybody, but I love these hoes. That's what Juicy J says. The evolutionary psychologist, Juicy J.
Juicy J.
Yes. Awesome. Do you want to go to again? Ty.
Okay, I got Ty.
Okay, again,
Ty's on tap.
I haven't seen these. And so,
Oh, I did.
Actually,
This
Tristan.
one. This is going to be real interesting.
By the way, shout out to Ty. He has
Percentage
a
of
program coming up next
degrees that
week.
you think are really actually legitimate.
All right, let me say something controversial. People go, what about doctors? You don't like colleges. What about doctors? I call bullshit. My cousin is at UCLA as a doctor. It's not a college degree. He went 4 years or whatever pre-med. Then he went on a mentorship to hospitals working in the thing. Here's degrees that I think help you. Harvard, not because of the degree. Because of the name. No, it's the social networking. Bill Gates and Paul Allen dropped out. They're richer than Ballmer. Ballmer stayed. The only thing that mattered is they met each other. Zuckerberg met his people that put the money in. And Harvard will help you because it's a badass degree.
Okay, ladies, the reason why we asked this is because 60% of college enrollees are
women.
The women's. Absolutely true. So I'm just curious, what do you guys think about the college degree now? Do you don't understand, like in the self-help community for men, one of the main mantras we say is college is fucking bullshit. By the way, hook 'em horns. I have the greatest goddamn degree.
Go Pack.
I have a BBA from UT Austin and I wouldn't trade it for anything. But anybody have any opinions about this? What do you think?
For sure. Yeah. These days, definitely, well, any days, but definitely I think college is optional, and definitely there's you can see people who've been through college and are effing idiots, and people
in debt.
And people who never went to college and started like businesses right out of the construction business, that business. So yeah, it again, it depends on the person. I do one half of my degrees, so it's not like it's impossible to do your degree then you get out of it, you know. And I plan on getting my master's in my first degree, so it depends on the person. But also these days, colleges, you know, what we see from media, college is teaching the stupidest shit, like, that you've ever seen.
No, it's true.
Again, guys, they really are.
If you want to teach history, teach history. What I have a problem with is gender studies and critical race theory instead of physics.
Yes.
That's what I have a problem with. You are not teaching how economics works. You do not functionally understand how inflation works, but you are replacing it with critical race theory and fucking gender studies that are teaching things that are functionally not true. Can you two move as close this way? No, both of you move this way. Thank you. That's the issue that we're having. And so now one of the things I love. You guys know the APA, the American Psychological Association, said that traditional masculinity was harmful, and then they said it was a disorder. Okay. And one of the things I love, Jordan Peterson is saying this, he goes, that was scandalous. He said that was the word he uses. That's not even false. It's anti-truth. It's anti-truth. The problem is now you are paying for your children to go to a university to not where they learn things that are wrong. They're learning anti-truth. They're literally learning the anti-truth. You don't understand. There's like the taxation for the rich is one of the most misunderstood. The way the tax code works in this country is one of the most misunderstood things. I didn't realize until I ran a business, the more money I spend, the less I pay in taxes. Who does that money go to? other people in their businesses. I'm encouraging growth in business. So like me actually paying less in taxes by helping other people with their business. Most people don't understand how tax write-offs work. And so because of, they don't understand owning a home, you get to write off the depreciation. Most people just think rich people pay less in taxes. Rich people hoard all their money. You don't understand that. You know where I learned that? Owning a business. I sure as fuck didn't learn that in college. The opposite is what I was taught in college. I was taught that the rich are sitting there, the capitalist class is only there to exploit the bourgeoisie. That's what I was taught, straight out the Communist Manifesto. You can read it yourself. That's where I learned this nonsense. But until you own a business and actually have to pay taxes on your own, then you come to the realization, oh, wait, no, we are the reason this entire society functions. Great book about this. Go read Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand. Fantastic book.
Yes.
Highly recommend.
Highly recommend.
Highly
I was
recommend.
just studying that book today.
Yeah.
Yes, very, very well. Anybody else?
Anybody opinions about
but
college? Go ahead.
Before I go off, go ahead.
I went to college. I have a business degree, and did it help me some? Maybe, but everything I've done has been by networking and people that I know, and where I'm at because of that. Did I have fun in college? Yes. Do I have a lot of debt? No, but that's not very common. So that's from like scholarships and things like that. So like for me, I had fun, but I didn't need it, and it's not necessary.
Well, in the state of Texas, oil taxes actually subsidize our in-state tuition. So I paid $6,000 a year. I had no debt. I joined the military, paid it off very quickly. But also, we're part of the SEC, and we're coming to kick your ass. You want to see somebody run? How about Texas A&M, bitch? We're coming for you, guys. You want to know something funny?
I'm so glad you're not in our division.
This is way off topic, but I want to point this out. I don't know what university you guys went to, and I don't know what rivalries or what colleges you pull for, but there is no more animosity between two universities in the United States of America. I will put this to the test. Anyone who wants to come up against me, there is no more animosity between two universities in the United States of America than Texas and Texas A&M. A&M hates Texas so much that they left the fucking conference to go to the SEC. And then when Texas joined the SEC, then A&M was talking about leaving again. We're talking about a bloodbath. And if you go to A&M schedule, guys, do this. Go on to StubHub.com or whatever. You'll see the cost to get into A&M games is like $8, $60, $8. $40, and then it goes University of Texas at Austin. The cheapest ticket for standing room only is $580. It is Super Bowl prices to watch these people go after each other because there is nothing in the world. The people at A&M hate the University of Texas more than they love themselves, and we're about to see some very, very ugly.
Somebody find out what the tickets are for UNR versus UNLV.
UNR versus UNLV.
So we
$25. Anyway, whatever. This is my
rivalry.
show, and I'm going to say it.
I don't know about bloodbath, but there's a rivalry.
This is my show, so I'm going to say it. Hook 'em horns. Hook 'em horns.
Can I say one more thing?
No, Michigan and Ohio State. No, Michigan and Ohio State is a bigger rivalry. And also Alabama and Auburn is a bigger rivalry. I'm not talking about that. Ohio State and Michigan aren't leaving each other's conference because they fucking hate each other. They don't use pejoratives.
Preseason games of
they
the
don't.
NFL.
They don't. You guys don't understand. Michigan and Ohio State make money together. They are actually sit on boards together. A&M and Texas hate each other. So imagine if Ohio State hated Michigan so much that they left and joined the SEC. That's the level of hatred. You have never seen anything like this.
Go for it.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, so yeah, Shishi.
Yeah, that's you.
I just wanted to say a couple of comments just on the college thing, because I did read those two comments up there where one person said college is useless, and then the second person, Sean Whalen, was like, she says people go to college and come out idiots. Well, what I was gonna say is that, number one, I went to a Detroit public school and I ended up getting a presidential academic scholarship to go to the University of Arizona to study astrophysics. And I totally had my full college paid for, and I studied astrophysics for 2 years straight until I got to vector calculus. And at the same time, I was taking theology courses. So I was taking Greek mythology, metaphysics, the Byzantium Empire, things like that. And I came across one of the Dead Sea Scrolls. So I fell in love with it because I was taking astronomy class at the same time, and I came across black holes in the Dead Sea Scrolls in the old text. So
have you come across a fully charged power crystal?
Power crystal.
Yeah. Got one.
But yeah,
got one right here live on camera.
Not only that, I was in 2017 accepted into a master's for theology, but it cost so much at the time that I really just couldn't afford it. So I put it off for like literally another decade. So I don't think I need a theology degree before that. But my second degree is in audio engineering, and I am an actual audio engineer, lighting engineer, and DJ. So for the person who said she came out an idiot, I'm actually doing what I've learned, and I plan on still doing theology courses. So that guy, and I got an academic, not even a athletic, but an academic presidential scholarship, even though I was all state softball in high school. So I could have got an athletic.
I suppose if you came out an idiot, then I must have come out an idiot too,
So,
because I have.
So just for that guy, Sean Whalen, you can shut the hell up, because you don't know what you're talking about. Number one, number two, college isn't useless, because I've had the best theology professors in the country at the University of Arizona. So that's why.
Well, that's not possible because they're not Longhorns. By the way, I'm sorry. All the haters on here, we can't hear you because of our $54 billion endowment at the University of Texas at Austin.
So, Sean,
we're the
you can
second
shut the
wealthiest
hell
school
up. You
in
don't
the
know what
entire
you're talking
country
about.
behind Harvard. Go look it up yourself. Go look. I think our Harvard. No one remembers second. Yeah, listen. I think our endowment at UT Austin is bigger than Ohio State and Michigan combined.
All right, let me throw out my two cents here on education. I'm a graduate, thank you very much, of the glorious, illustrious University of Nevada, Reno. Thank you very much. I have a degree in fine arts and behavioral psychology. So those are, I think what's funny is, like, I'll talk to people like Aaron Clary, and Aaron Clary has a book called Useless. In fact, that was actually how I was introduced to him. And basically the book Useless is about useless degrees, right? Which apparently I have, because they're not STEM field degrees, right? And I was just talking to you guys this afternoon about the fact that if you have an artistic talent, or if you have something like that, that's not a useless degree. I have put my degrees to work. I'm doing it right now, as a matter of fact. So I think that if you put those degrees to work and you're using them and they have a purpose, I don't think enough young people, let's just say, really think about what it is that they want to do and how much money they're going to be paying. So if you've got a communications degree or something like that, and you're $60,000 in debt, and the average salary for that particular job that you're going after happens to be about $40,000, you're going to be in debt for quite some time. You're already starting at a deficit. So from an economics perspective, it's kind of silly. Now I look at education in a similar way that I look at marriage right now. So people want to say, well, Rolly, you're down on marriage. You hate marriage, and you've been married for 28 years, right? And so when I say something like that, people say, well, you're a hypocrite. I'm like, no, I'm not a hypocrite. I just disagree with the way we do marriage now, right? I also happen to disagree with the way we do education now. I think education is its own reward. Every person should be able to speak knowledgeably on a great many different variety of subjects to prove that you're not a fucking idiot, okay? If you came out of college and all you thought college was about was, I'm going to train for a job in whatever it is, and I got to have this diploma to go and do that, go into a trade, man. Go learn to weld. Go do something that's good. If it's all about the bag, if you're just there to get money, get into a trade that's going to pay you a shit ton of money. If you're there for an education, you should have a very well-rounded education. And that used to be the reason why people would go to college, was to learn stuff and then figure out what it is that they wanted to do with themselves. Now we have diploma mills. Now we have student debt. Now we have grants, and we have all this stuff that we got to pay back. And so what we do is we kind of hobble our next generations. You've got the degree, you've got the diploma, maybe you've got to even have an advanced degree, but you've also got $150,000 of debt that you've got to clear before you even start making money with that degree. So there's a whole industrial complex that goes along with it. So as I was saying, or they'll say, well, if you go to college, you're going to come out you're going to look like Lena Dunham. You're going to come out with fuchsia hair, and you're going to be, you're going to be a dirty feminist if you come out. It's this indoctrination camp and everything. Like, yeah, if you're an idiot, if you're going in there with the ideas, you don't know what to do with yourself, sure. But again, it didn't used to be that way. It used to be a place of higher learning. It used to be a place where you would go get a full, well-rounded education. We're simply not doing that anymore. Do we need education reform? Absolutely we do. Do we need to find some way to regulate these crazy rates of student loans and everything? Yes, we need to find some way to ameliorate that. But the concept of going and getting an education is its own reward, and you will never know what it is you might be actually using those skills or that knowledge base for. Are you going to use advanced algebra for the average guy? No, but if you are a coder, or if you are in some way if you're an engineer, yeah, you're damn right you're going to need those things. So really what it is the onus of an education is on the student itself to figure out what it is that you want to do and go in with a plan. Because if you're going in with a plan, or you're not planning ahead, you're planning to fail, right? So that's the way I look at education.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The cool thing about the trades is that there aren't a lot of young guys in there right now.
Yeah.
One of my buddies, Rich, back home, he's an electrician, makes literally 100K years for properties. And most guys that are in the trades, they're like 50, 60. So there's zero competition for guys that are like 20, 21, 22, literally going through college.
Because they see it as low status.
Yeah.
I remember the story. There's this one guy, there's a plumber helping build a house. He takes his son down there. He sees the plumber with his ass crack out and he goes, son, the reason why I want you to go to college is so you don't end up like a plumber like this guy. Plumber stands up and goes, fuck you. I make $300,000 a year. I own my own company. I make $300,000 a year. You're exactly right. Because it's supply and demand. If everyone's trying to be a fucking real estate agent, sell solar and have Amazon FBA, if everyone's trying to do that, then you're right. Those jobs like laying brick, the trades and understanding being an electrician, a good electrician, those jobs will start to pay more. That's exactly right.
Right. And it's also because we're solving problems that will never, ever go away. Like,
Correct.
there will always be construction. There will always be maintenance to be done in the house. Those problems will never go away. So there's always money out there to be spent.
And I hate that I have to agree with Destiny on this. But he is correct about when it comes to education, that most people's best bet in life is actually to go get an education so that they can get it. Like the average girl needs that so that they can be an effective, we need people to keep the lights on. We need people to produce a fucking podcast is what we need. We need skilled people. We need people, and it takes time to learn those things and to build that stuff up. And sometimes that requires you going to a trade school or requires you going to get a degree for it.
Yeah, if I could go back and I was like 22 again and I didn't have any money, 100% I would like start learning how to produce a podcast because there's so many lessons you learn as far as audio visual. And I would do so in exchange for me having my own podcast. And 100% I would drive Uber Eats or fucking Grubhub or something where I can have an AirPod in and I can listen to audiobooks while I'm working. Anybody right now, you guys want a piece of advice. If any of you are making less than an Uber driver or an Uber Eats driver, you need to quit your job. You need to buy a bunch of audiobooks that'll help you make millions of dollars. And you need to put that motherfucker in your ear because the food doesn't talk in the back seat. You need to sit there and you need to learn some shit.
Yes.
You need to learn some shit. Like when I was in the Air Force, every pilot that I flew with, the dream job was to go get a job flying for an airline. You know what the best job of all was? FedEx, because the fucking packages don't talk. They were ranking all the jobs. The one with FedEx, you can fly with your shorts on. No one gives a fuck. You can go to sleep down. No one gave a shit. So that FedEx was above everyone wanted to be a FedEx pilot because the packages don't complain.
Yeah, the least amount of complexity with the job.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the biggest thing is just not let school get in the way of your education. So I love what Jim Rohn says, where like formal education will make you a living, and then self-education will make you rich. So kind of to your point. Like for some professions, you definitely need a degree to do, but for most nowadays, you don't.
Imagine the ROI per dollar spent.
Oh yeah.
If you spent that money with Cole Gordon or Jeremy Minor, or even, I know you guys are going to hate on me, but it's fucking true. I am wealthy now in large part because of Ty Lopez. If you spent,
that was the first course I bought on
Ty Lopez, exactly. If you spent your money with these guys who know better than you, I know Justin Waller has 400 houses. He just came out with a real estate program. If you actually spent your money on some of these courses, which is way less expensive than getting a college education, and you're willing to put your fucking back into it, you can make so much more money than going to get a college degree on some of these courses.
Like you hang out with losers, you're going to be
exactly.
a loser. If you hang out with people that are successful or more than you, then you're going to become successful. You're going to be you're a mirror who you're
going to make so much more money going to a 10X conference with fucking Grant Cardone. The networking you're going to do will exceed that at Harvard. Absolutely. Yeah. So that to me, it's not just that colleges are a poor investment. It's that these individual courses that actually teach you skills that make you money are way better. And I highly recommend it. If you think that courses are a scam and Ty Lopez teaches courses, why is Ty Lopez spending millions of dollars on courses to learn new shit? How come we're an MOA? You know what the first thing we do with our capital? Because it's a tax write-off. We spend courses. We spend money on courses for continuing education, and we make money off it. You know, copywriting courses on advertising, all kinds of stuff. This is what I would spend my money on instead of going to college. Unless you live in Texas, you got in-state tuition. Hook 'em horns.
That's a good point because I have my bachelor's in actuarial science with like a math-based degree, and then my master's in financial math. I was going to be an actuary, and then this year we'll make more than what it would have took like
Right.
30 years as an actuary. Like the peak for an actuary after 30 years of experience is less than what we'll make our second year, third year of business.
I will pay more in taxes this year than if I was a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force. My income
Yeah.
as lieutenant colonel, I will pay more in taxes than he would make in that. Of course, right? Because I learned extra skills that solved problems. Guys, also one other thing. If you this is for you ladies too. You want to know the key to entrepreneurship. Spend your day figuring out how to solve other people's problems and make other people's lives easier and just get paid a little bit per person. In fact, start off helping people for free. And then later on, if 1% of your audience will pay you for your expertise, you will be outrageously wealthy. That is the truth.
So start an OnlyFans, make it free in the beginning, and then incrementally start a little bit more. And you know what? You'll be paid more than if you had an advanced nursing degree.
You're solving a problem.
Eventually.
But if you want to be an
you are
entrepreneur,
solving a problem. These guys have a problem.
If most people think I want to be an entrepreneur, so I'm going to listen to affirmations and then not want to have a boss. That's not an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is someone who solves other people's problems and makes other people's lives easier. When you do that and you just understand, I'm going to help people out for free to prove the concept, and then I'm just going to make money off 1% of my audience, you will be outrageously wealthy from doing that. Got it?
Yeah, money is just an exchange of value. So the more value you provide, the more money you get in return.
All right, let me get to these super chats here real quick. Hookup culture destroyed nuclear family. Thoughts?
I think I would actually go with you. The birth control pill actually had more to do with
the birth technology killed the nuclear
I think birth
family.
control, and I actually think that the welfare state did more to destroy the nuclear family than anything else.
I think it's a mixture of that, the
IKEA.
government, Satan. Yeah,
Go ahead. What?
Hookup
Can you
culture.
guys come closer? Come close. Act like you're on a date with Luke.
There you go.
It's a combination of hookup
Coffee
culture, Satan.
No, I think hookup culture is a byproduct.
The government.
of guys. Can you guys believe this?
Black Lives Matter.
Birth control controlled births. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
We gave people a
It's a
pill to not have babies.
technology.
Hold on. We gave a pill to people to not have babies, and they had fewer babies. Canceled. Conspiracy theorists. Conspiracy
Fake news.
And there are
Fake
less
news.
babies also, but guys still don't wear condoms. So
Yeah.
just saying.
Everyone knows that
Guys,
doesn't count.
hilarious.
It was all the Rockefellers.
Just
Yeah.
saying.
It doesn't count if you do.
What were
so.
we going to say, Jolie?
Okay,
Oh, there you
Jolie,
go.
I do want to know your 2 bad dates that you went on. Can you please tell us about them? Grab the mic up close.
Oh,
Hawk two of the.
Bring
the
it
thing.
up.
Talk to that bitch.
Bring it up, baby.
No, you don't have to use
Tell me about your bad dates.
Bring the girls out.
Hypothetically, what happened?
Just overall, I left in the back of the kitchen because he started
Talking to the mic. Talking to the mic.
Okay, so he kept I don't know. He's just gross. I don't
He's
know.
like
I'm
gross. How?
picky.
What did
Guys
you
who want to
describe
date you in the future, how can they not be gross?
Be classy.
Be
I don't know,
classy?
just chill. Just relax.
What was
be
he doing?
calm.
What were you doing? What were,
Well,
like,
the
the 2 to
first
3
guy was
things?
way too hyper.
Okay.
Just way too hyper. I was like, I can't have
Like a
somebody
little
like.
puppy, yeah, excited.
And then the second one, I went on a date and we went and had dinner.
Where'd you go?
We went to the STK.
Okay, so there's a back door. Where was? Oh, there is a back door to SDK, right?
No,
there by
that's
Beauty
not
and
where.
Essex.
That's not.
Okay.
So then we end up going. Wait, what date was that? Hold on. So this is the wrong date. So this one we
There's
went
so
to
many.
Tiki Bar.
Okay.
Okay.
And ended up he ordered the lift. He asked me to order a lift, and I'm like, wait a second, is this guy for real? And then he orders one, and it's a Corolla.
Oh my
And
Shout out
it's-
to, shout out to
my
Brandon
God.
Powers.
I think
He's
a
the owner
Corolla's
of the Tiki
fine.
Bar.
Like, I
That's
don't understand.
disgusting.
Mhm.
And I'm
So
like,
the lift was a Corolla. That was the problem.
I think
yeah,
Corollas
that
are
no, there
fine.
were 2 lifts, and then
Okay.
the first time he signaled that he wanted me to pay for one, and I'm like, have
Oh,
you
wow.
lost your brain?
I would
Like,
pay
Yeah.
for a Corolla.
and number one,
No,
I
that's the first
want to
date,
circle
though.
back about Marilyn Monroe says with the rich guys that being a beautiful girl is equivalent to being a wealthy man. Everybody wants something from you.
Uh-oh.
So 89% of the men in the planet probably would have sex with me. So when they're like, oh, you don't want to sleep with me, or you don't want, what do you expect from me? Like, you don't want dinner, and I'm like, or I'm not going to take you to dinner. It's like, no, you're going to value me, and I'm not just going to come over to have like a hookup because I can have sex with anybody. So what's the point? So that's my thing.
No, I totally agree. I think that's a really great point. So
I think
you,
that's good
so
at that
what? But what
point,
happened?
yeah.
So it's because of what he ordered. He
The-
didn't order
well,
the
he was-
Uber Black.
He was white girl wasted, and then
White girl wasted.
and then I'm like handing him the drink to go back because I'm trying to be like
I'm
patient
taking
and
that.
smiling, and I because the Lyft driver was, or the guy was clearly like overweight. He hadn't worked through his trauma, And so he parks the car. He was angry about this glass that we had taken. I kept trying to hand the glass to the guy. He was so wasted. He didn't he wasn't. Anyway, the driver turns off the car and stops. He's like, I'm not taking you guys anywhere. And I'm like, okay. So then he starts cursing out. Cursing out the driver. And so I run back in Tiki Bar and go out the back and I call my lift. And it was just insane. It was pure chaos. It took 2 days before. I still haven't gotten back on dating yet. I'm done dating for a little bit.
That's always funny. Interesting. All right, beautiful. I really want to get to this one because this one's very controversial. I guys want you guys to look up. We have a very different subject here. Everybody look up at the screen.
Oh, geez. Okay, hang on.
Just because I'm fat, that doesn't invalidate the things that I say.
She died.
You ready to get supersized?
She died too.
Today I got the big Fruit Loop.
He's dead.
Join me on my Fat Positive radio show,
which didn't last long because she died.
I was
all these people really died or no?
Yeah, those all those people died. Okay, guys, so let me explain this how this works. Rich people get Ozempic, poor people get body positivity.
I heard that the South Park episode with the Lizzo or whatever.
Again. I wish we had the video up here. They asked several women. They said, "Do you think Lizzo's beautiful?" All the women said yes. And then the last one, he goes up to the woman. He says, "Do you ever know? Anybody ever tell you look like Lizzo?" And he punches her, or she punches him. She punches him. And that's the way it works. It's like it's one of these things where we're living in this place where it's like, okay, a couple things. If you are overweight, I don't hate you, but I can't take you seriously if you're morbidly overweight, because that means
you take yourself seriously.
No, because you don't take yourself seriously. But like, how can I do business with someone who cannot delay any gratification? You have taken on. By the way, also as a man, for those of you who don't know, if you are overweight, your body fat is aromatizing your testosterone into estrogen. And so you'll see as these men get fatter and fatter, there's more estrogen, and you start seeing their voice break. You start seeing stuff like I have a theory that Will Smith was taking TRT and was not taking an estrogen blocker. He's probably taking too much TRT, which is raising his estrogen levels, and you hear his voice break. Just keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth. I think that was an excessive amount of estrogen that he was dealing with. I think that was what's going on in this situation. Yeah. When you're that overweight, I have known several people who've put on 50 or 100 pounds, and every one of them, their neurology changes, and you start believing in crazy shit, and you become dumber. So it's really difficult when you're overweight like that. So if I say this out of love, you need to control your weight instead of trying to glorify it. It's really bad. And I'll tell you something else. People think that I love bikini models because I like to objectify women or because I'm a misogynist. I love bikini models because it glorifies good health. Yes. It glorifies being in good health. It glorifies fertility. That's why I like bikini models.
It raises the level of human happiness.
If you guys don't believe me, go look at the women that live in Seattle, Chicago, and New York compared to the women who live in Miami, Dallas, and Scottsdale. It's night and day because the women who live in those southern cities, they have to show more skin, so they go to the gym more. Well, what happens is, even though you live in a city where the younger girl goes to the gym more, what happens is now the soccer mom, she sees her husband looking at the girl on the stair climber who's 22 and really hot, and she's like, now I need to go to the gym more. Healthy people in a city create more healthy people in the city. If you want to see some women who are ripped, come to Las Vegas, go to fucking Dragon's Lair, Powerhouse, go to Fit Club, and you will see some ripped women.
Shout out to Powerhouse.
Yeah. But the reason why you'll see that is because we have an ethos in Las Vegas. You have to keep up. Girl number one has to keep up with girl number two. And when you go to places like New York, instead of going to the gym, they just put on a big fat overcoat and just get fatter every year. That's what happens. Okay. So I am all for promoting good health. And the issue with what they're saying before is it's not a function of my opinion that being that overweight is a problem. It's reality. It's physics. It's thermodynamics. Your heart cannot pump blood into a body that is that fat. Your heart could if it was stronger, but your heart gets progressively weaker because you're sedentary, you're eating fat, you're eating sugar, salts, and fats. Also, the excessive sodium is causing your blood pressure to go up. You are taking in massive amounts of cholesterol, and it's becoming a bigger and bigger problem for you. And it only goes in one direction if you don't handle it. Fat people, when they don't handle it, only become fatter. That's how it works, okay? So just so we're clear, I want to talk about this in like the least hateful way possible. Promoting obesity it should be criminal. It really putting that woman on the Olympics in the middle who was morbidly overweight, that should be criminal. Not promoting people if someone's overweight, shouldn't be criminal. What should be criminalized is the idea that we're promoting you to be overweight. That should be criminal.
That it's
we're
okay.
promoting death, not figurative death, literal death.
Can I say something really
Go ahead.
inappropriate?
Yes.
Just like gay. I feel like they promote it. They rub it in our faces,
Yes.
the movies and stuff. So I'm against it too. But I agree with the whole fat thing.
I was gonna say, yeah, I think it's super dangerous. I participated in a pageant in the past couple months, maybe a couple months ago, but I was one of the judges for a pageant, and they were doing here in Las Vegas, and they had a category with oversized women, you know, like very like obese women, and one of the women won, and you know, we were like, you know, and then later I followed their Instagram, and the chick passed away, and I'm like, this is why you can't be like
newsflash.
You know what I mean?
It
Yeah,
makes you
very
age
dangerous.
faster. It increases your
So
estrogen
dangerous,
levels. It changes your neurology. It causes you to have a much more difficult life just moving around in general. And when you get that overweight, as you get older, it becomes harder. Losing 50 pounds when you're in your 20s is significantly easier than doing it in your 40s when your joints start to degenerate. So I'm just saying this, guys, out of love, please, for fuck's sake, like being overweight is what, like if you, again, money, muscles, and game, health, wealth, and relationships, health comes first. You look at these people like, again, one of my good friends, Wes Watson, told me, he goes, you look at other people when you want to buy their program. Would you trade your life for their life? Would you trade your life for their? He goes, I don't care if you're a billionaire. I would never trade my life for someone who's fat. That's the case. And I don't have anybody, I have family members that are fat. I don't hate you for being fat. My issue is when you promote this whole thing, you are promoting other people getting fat, which is dangerous. You are promoting death, not figurative death, literal death. That's why it's a problem. And that's why I host bikini competitions, because I like to promote health. I don't give a fuck what, and breast
and
implants.
hot. Well,
And breast
I
implants.
met you 10 years ago at a bikini contest, and
Yes.
I eat McDonald's every day, but
Yes.
it's done. Just like, and my dino chicken.
Do I understand that some people have a lower metabolic rate and some people put on weight easier? I absolutely understand. And as you get older, is it a problem? I absolutely understand that. I'm not mad at you for getting fat. What I'm telling you is, number one, it's like the
I'm
people.
mad at you for getting
It's like the
fat.
people who pay hookers in fucking South America and then come back and try to sell me a game product. Like, you're just a moron. Like, being fat is a problem. If you're fat, if you happen to be fat, that's fine. Just don't promote it to me. Don't promote it. That's my issue. Okay.
So that's
I like sex far too much to allow myself to get fat.
For sure.
No, don't talk about McDonald's around Michael anymore.
You want to go to McDonald's? Go to Whataburger. Let's go
I went to
fucking
McDonald's today. I got like
Let me get
$30
a
worth of
super
stuff.
chat in here real quick. In my breakdown
With that
of
Kit
the
Kat.
book Dataclism, I found
Kit
that
Kat,
you
Vanilla
are misquoting a
Split.
stat. There you go. Women do not rate 80% of men as below average. The actual number is 85%, 5% average, and 8% above average, 2% most attractive.
So I didn't get that from Dataclism. I got that from more update studies, but you're correct. Dataclism does say that. Yes.
Yeah, but Dataclism also came out in 2012.
Yeah, the other thing about Dataclism is it's just eHarmony, and so eHarmony is not right swipe, left swipe.
It's OkCupid. It's
It's OkCupid. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's OkCupid. You're not incorrect.
Because
It's
so
just-
many people are using OkCupid.
Exactly.
these days.
It just, you just like the rule is just understand 80% of men, or 85, somewhere in that area, about 1.5 standard deviations of men are deemed to be unattractive. There you go.
Advice: drive a shit Honda Civic, save money for 6 to 7 years, 40,000, roll up in a cheap small college, or enroll in a cheap small college. Same education degree. Education is attractive to women. Is
I think
education attractive
I think
to women?
intelligence is
Yeah.
attractive to women.
I think like actually I think your
100%.
personality and just so you're funny and you're like I said nice. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, we don't really.
Education isn't that like kind of attractive because sometimes
You're not attracted to my minor in astrophysics from UT Austin? No.
No,
Shocking.
because sometimes
You don't
some
care
people
what
can
you
come
drive.
off as too much of a douchebag because they think it comes off as almost like they're trying to be better than you.
Well,
right?
educated also doesn't mean intelligent. You can
No,
have an
I'm
MBA
just
and
saying
not
when
be
people
smart.
can say like if you went to Princeton, you'd be like, oh, they read the Princeton shirt, like
So,
whatever.
that's the status
It
from
almost
Princeton.
like
That's gonna be
comes off as
places.
like they're, I don't know, they're just like proving themselves. I don't know.
I would
Do you
rather have a
understand what I'm
man
trying
with
to say?
high.
Yeah.
I would rather have a man with high intelligence who's teaching me things, showing me how to do things every day, and rather than looking at his car.
For me,
I
I
don't
feel
give a
like I learned
shit
from
what he
life
drives if
experiences.
he's like mentally stimulating me every day and leading.
Ladies,
Yeah.
you want a hint? Having general curiosity is attractive. Like being interested. Like again, I don't need you to like solve all my problems, but the idea that like the presidential election's coming up and you just didn't know, like just
Right.
like basic shit, you just had
Basic
no,
stuff.
like you didn't know that like Italy was in Europe, like basic shit. If you just don't know that there's 3 feet in the yard, like have just a basic level of curiosity. I'm telling you, it's way better for you. It's way better in life. And like I'm working and you can't take the call, like be able to just like call a plumber, you know, just basic shit. If you can do that, that's a turn on. Don't make my life harder.
Just lead.
Again, I love this idea.
Please.
It's about what women give and it's about what men give up. Okay. We give up our optionality with other women. We give up resources. We give up time. It's about what women give. They can give us peace. They can make our lives easier.
Happy.
100%.
Make my life easier. Make it better. If
There
you
is
can't
no
do that,
peace.
just
There's
move on.
only war.
There's only war. This one right here.
Okay. Yeah. Women don't know who the presidential candidates are, but they know what their astrological sign is.
Like, don't expect me to take you in science, technology, take you seriously in science, technology, engineering, mathematics when you believe in astrology. I don't believe. Look, we can't hire you.
Why don't
Go
you
ahead.
get out and walk home then?
Oh, I will.
It's gonna be a long. Why don't you get out and walk home then?
Oh, I will.
It's gonna be a long walk, sweetie. You're about to see what the real world is like.
Yeah,
Hey. Hey.
thank you.
Hold on a sec.
Guys can be real jerks sometimes.
Yeah,
Hey,
you're a piece of
wait.
shit.
Yeah.
Guys, this is what it goes back to what I said before. No matter how poorly a woman treats you,
yeah.
she is gonna do just fine as soon as she walks away.
She gets out of the car.
Your girlfriend is not being punished by God because she cheated on you. She's in the Bay of Biscayne sucking some rich guy off. She's just fucking fine. She's in WeHo doing fucking blow at a mansion party. She's not thinking about you. She's good. Like, live your fucking life, do better, work on your bench press max, fix your business, get in better shape. Don't fucking worry about her. And that's the other thing. Like, this idea that like there are millions, the only thing growing faster than the OnlyFans economy is the simp economy. There's plenty of men to save these hoes. When you're done with them, don't fucking worry about it. Don't try to punish them. Move on with your life and do better and become a top 10%.
You're
man.
not going to teach them a
You're not going to
lesson.
teach them a fucking lesson. You're not going to teach any of these women. I know that's hard. The problem is like you being frustrated with what
She
women,
really respected me as she walked out of that car.
the idea of, gentlemen, the idea that women do things that frustrate you, that's fair. But the idea that women do things that frustrate you and you're going to punish them and teach them a lesson, we're way past that. There's too many men who have no options with women to sit there and save them. So just don't think about this. You're sitting there bitching at women. You're calling women sluts who wouldn't have sex with you. What does that say about you? You're sitting there calling women whores when your dick is dry and you're broke. One more time, gentlemen, if you're calling women whores when your dick is dry and you're broke, then again, I'm not saying they aren't even
Looking
whores.
at you, John Zerka.
They actually are whores. I'm not even saying they're not. My point is, don't do that unless you are fixing your own life. If you're literally the energy that you derive is like, oh, I called a woman a whore. Yes, my butthole's tingling. Yay. I call him a whore. When you're broke and your dick is dry, just stop. Seriously, if you sit there and talk to a bunch of successful men and you ask them, hey, man, have you ever left negative YouTube comments on a TikTok? They'll be like, bro, I don't even know how. I'm too busy fucking my hot wife and building my business. I don't have time to leave this negativity. Got it? Beautiful. I love that one. Here we go. This one is funny. Guys, I really recommend you subscribe to this guy's channel. It's hilarious.
Talk to an LGBTQIA plus person. What? Let's begin. Who are you? And what are you? Why are you? And where is it? And how are you? Why? Wow. Thank you so much.
Comment amen.
Okay. So here's the issue, guys. It's like the problem isn't he's not showing hatred. We just want to ask questions. Like, we want to understand what the rules are. But you asking what the rules are, like what is a woman, what is a biological man? Is there a problem with someone who's XY chromosome boxing in the Olympics and fighting another woman? Is that an issue? You asking the question is now bigoted. Not you being bigoted, not being like, I hate trans people. No one's saying that. We just want to know what the fucking rules are, and just asking the question. You are now a bigot and canceled for doing so. You've misidentified someone. It's like, well, no, where I grew up in Arkansas, where I grew up in Oklahoma, when I saw someone who looked like that, I called her ma'am. But now I'm canceled for that? I was trying to be nice. What the fuck is going on? Now asking the question is a problem. And like, well, you saw him right here. He wasn't trying to act hateful. He's just like, I don't know how to talk to you because I don't know what you are. And me not knowing what should happen. What does the left want you? You should accept what I'm telling you. LGBTQIA+. Accept that. The fact that you don't accept that makes you bigoted. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Homosexual men are going to leave the LGBT community. They're going to leave it because they're the conservatives of that community. They're like, bro, I can be a lawyer or a doctor. I make millions of dollars. Why are you dragging me into your fucking political bullshit? I'm telling. And you know who else? Bisexual women. Bisexual women, they don't really have it that hard. Nobody's really persecuting them. Nobody, like raise your hand if you're a bisexual woman. You've been persecuted for being bisexual. The next bisexual woman I've seen that's been persecuted will be the first. Bisexual women are like, I don't really want to be a part of this. I think that's what's going to happen. But as long as they keep them all together, and then all of a sudden, then you're having an issue like that. That's the thing that's going on. So now, just be careful. You guys even ask the question. Now you're in trouble just for asking. What is going on here? Why is this going on? Hey, you want to know something? Here, I'm ready to get canceled right now. There is no reality where it is okay to expose genitalia to underage children, even if you're trans. Let me say that one more time. There is no reality. There is no place for exposing your genitalia to underage children, even if you're trans.
Amen.
Sorry. I'm sorry. No hate towards anybody, but that's not okay. You can cut if you want to go. If you're 18 years old and you want to cut your wiener off, that's fine. Is it a mental disorder? Maybe. I don't fucking know. But one thing I do know is you don't touch my fucking kids. That's it. Just don't touch my fucking kids. That's the only thing I'm saying. And if you have a problem with that and you want to cancel me, then I guess it's worth for me to be canceled. But that one should not be debatable. You should not be exposing genitalia, open genitalia to children. I don't care if it's a pride parade. You saw that video, those police officers in San Francisco, and they're like, isn't it against the law to expose your penis to minors? Is like, well, no, it's okay because it's a pride parade. It's not okay. It's never okay to expose genitalia to underage kids, even if you're trans. There you go. I said it.
Yeah, they're agreed. And there's no special anything because it's your dude. Like, there's no special treatment. We shouldn't even be having a controversy about arguing about if this person has a Y chromosome. It should be two clear-cut females. Like, if it's high T, you're cheating. If it's a Y chromosome, you're cheating. So either way, it's a cheat. Like, you can't have high T and be having that much testosterone in that category. Either way, it's a cheat. So you know what I mean? Like,
you're making a declaration. That's fine. The problem isn't your declaration. The problem is you're even asking the question, right? And now you're canceled for that. That's the issue. You're asking the question. That's the other thing. It was like, did you guys see the whole situation with the Algerian boxer and the Italian boxer? Yeah. But they said, well, she was born a woman. Wave your hand. Nothing to see here. She was born a woman. No, she had XY chromosome, an extremely high level of testosterone, and she broke that other boxer's nose. And then what made me even more upset is that the Italian boxer, do you know what she did? She apologized. No, you shouldn't have to apologize. That's not the issue. And again, I'm not, by the way, the Algerian the boxer, it's not her fault that she was born XY. She lives in a country where being trans is illegal. It's not, she was born biologically female, but she went through male puberty. And because of that, I think it's dangerous to have her boxing in a combat sport against men. And that doesn't make me a bigot for thinking that way. Right. It doesn't make me a bigot for asking that question. Okay.
We don't care how you identify. Just leave our kids alone.
Yeah, that's the other thing. The kids part is like the kids part is like this is what you guys saw with you guys saw with what's his name? Moist Tactical, is that his name? He took himself off the internet because he had a debate with Sneeko, and Sneeko got him to admit that it's okay for children to choose to change, to have surgery on children who want to change their gender before puberty. That is never okay. But after what he took himself off. He took himself off
Miley
YouTube.
Cyrus. You know
Guys,
what I
that
mean?
is
You don't-
never
you don't know
okay.
what you truly like until you can't
Yeah,
make those
thank
rights
you.
until
You're making my point
do
for
the-
me.
you
Exactly.
can't
It's
until
crazy.
you're an
My
adult.
masculinity is based in my heterosexuality, but I'm not fully aware of my heterosexuality until I go through puberty. What is a great way to stop that? Giving me puberty blockers. Again, I cannot vote. I cannot join the military. I cannot smoke a cigarette, drink alcohol, or consume marijuana until I'm 18 years old. So I do not have the right. You want to talk about egalitarianism? The liberals want to say we want things to be fair for everyone. Well, it's not fair because you're an adult. Your brain is fully formed, and they're a child. Their brain is not fully formed, and you're making a decision for them to cut gonads off. Yeah. That's not fair. That's not egalitarian. They didn't get the opportunity to experience puberty like you did. That's not fair. Again, I'm going to say this again. My masculinity is based heavily in my heterosexuality. And my heterosexuality, I knew I liked girls when I was 10. But when I was 14, I really fucking liked girls. I knew I really liked girls. And so my heterosexuality, understanding that I enjoy being a straight male, which, by the way, was not taught to me. It wasn't because of magazines. I'm a heterosexual male because evolution made me that way. Because of that, because of that whole idea, there's no way that you can tell me that I would have been able to understand before puberty whether or not I want to change my gender. I don't have the requisite information. I don't. And because of that, my application to Harvard has been denied.
Yes,
Agreed.
most likely. I'll give you my 2 cents here too, and I'll try to do this without like flying off the handle like I did last night because we had this conversation in the Twitter space. What you're seeing with the conflict between the effectively male boxer versus the female boxers, that guy has 99.9% more upper body strength than any female on planet Earth on average. Okay. I mean, unless you're a female bodybuilder, this guy is going to hurt you, and to the point where he's breaking jaws. And what we're seeing is when you do that, when you put that trans male athlete in a women's division, first of all, he's going to dominate that division. It's a foregone conclusion. Second of all, the reason why we're doing this in the first place is because we have this emotional addiction to some idea that we have to in some way placate to this mass psychosis of understanding gender as being separate from biological sex. I will tell you right now, that is the biggest lie that has been sold to the the entire world really, but Western nations since about the mid-70s when we introduced intersectional feminism and humanism and everything, secular humanism and everything, because we want to come up with this idea that identity is subjective and we can all just be whatever we want to. It's the blank slate. It doesn't matter what genitalia you were born with. Everybody can be whatever the hell they want to be. A man can be a woman can be a man. And the only way you get to that is if you separate biological sex from gender identity. And I will tell you right now, the more we discover about the human genome, the more we track the 4 laws of behavioral genetics, the more you'll never hear anything about that. The nature versus nurture debate is over. It's been over since like the mid 90s. Okay. So when we look at this, we can see and extrapolate and pull from there that biological sex is upstream from your gender fucking identity. Just like you said a minute ago, when you're 10 years old, you like girls. When you're 14-year-old, you really like girls because your biology is a heterosexual male. Your identity is highly likely that you're going to be you're going to identify as a heterosexual, red-blooded, testosterone-filled, red-blooded, man. Okay. Because gender identity is intimately attached to biology, to biological sex. And the moment we can reconnect those two, all this shit goes away because we're wallowing in this idea of emotionalism versus empiricism. So it feels good to us to go and put a biological man in a women's sport where he's breaking the jaws of female boxers, or it could have been MMA, or it could have been karate, it could have been jiu-jitsu or judo or whatever. Those are Olympic sports as well. We haven't seen the last of this. I'm sure there's going to be other incidents of this in the Olympics. So what you're seeing is this conflict between emotionalism and empiricism. The empirical truth is this guy's a male and he's going to break your jaw in the middle of the ring. but we're going to feel good about it because he can identify and be whatever he wants to, because we still believe in this stupid idea that gender and identity are separate. They are not. They are intimately linked, and we can see, you know how I know they're intimately linked? Because that girl sits down and cries because she's got a broken nose as a result of an ideology that says that these two things are separate, and they are not separate. One ideology is based on emotionalism. The other ideology, that they're intimately linked, that's based on physical, objectable, observable realities. So if we can just, it's a curb this fucking high, man. All we have to do is just say, you know what? Let's start thinking in terms of let's start thinking in terms of empiricism rather than emotionalism, because emotionalism isn't getting us anywhere. In fact, it's getting a lot of people hurt because we still are pandering to this idea that a woman can be a man and a man can be a woman. That's why when Matt Walsh says, "Oh, what is a woman?" and there's never any concrete answer to that, it's because they would have to reconsider their entire lives and their entire identities that have been based on this bullshit lie. And so now they've got to reconstruct their entire lives, and they're not willing. They don't have the creativity. They don't have the strength of will to even consider something like that. That's why you'll never get a straight answer out of them. So,
yeah, again, if you're over the age of 18 and you want to cut your wiener off, go for it. Hey, man, I'm not like whatever. Yeah. Like, just don't. First off, don't put government funds into it. All right, that's all I'm saying. But here's my other issue. Just don't touch our fucking kids. That's all I'm saying. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, I get criticized often. Will Hitchens made a video about me saying that because my girlfriend's 22 and I'm 46, that she doesn't have the wherewithal, the mental acuity, because she's barely an adult. Remember, guys, at 22, she's barely an adult and doesn't know what she should be doing. But at 9, he should be able to cut his wiener off. Guys, seriously, if you're a progressive and you're hearing this, seriously take a second and say, have you gone too far? Do you really want to stand with your side, your political ideology on something like this? Does this really make sense? And I'm speaking to, again, a lot of my friends are political progressives. 2 of my really good friends are both socialists. And we have this discussion all the time. But it's like when you really, like, again, the idea that parents should be able to choose to change their child's gender before puberty, that is the ultimate. If you believe in a truly egalitarian nature, all of you are going to come to that conclusion. But something as a parent and as a human being should tell you that's wrong. Something internally should tell you that's wrong. Okay. Yes. Something, it doesn't matter what your religion is. Something internally should tell you putting a 9-year-old under the knife like that is wrong. Something should do that. What do you want to say, Jolie?
Sodom and Gomorrah.
There you go. Sodom and Gomorrah. Or I like to say Vegas and Los Angeles. Go ahead.
And I just want to snowball off of what you were saying.
Microphone.
Ooh, crap. Yep. Yeah, I just wanted to snowball off of what you were saying too, because I totally 100% agree. But what I see is it's just a scam off rip, like off the top, before you get into anything. Linguistically, the word gender, it does mean your sex, because the word gender the root word is genes. So it literally the word genes is in the word gender right there. So linguistically, it's already checkmate. Like, it goes down to your genes, which are your chromosomes. So your gender is your sex. So period. They're already getting scammed from off the top. So, and what I see as a pattern with like you said, what is a woman? There's a side that keeps taking the flat out definition of things and just throwing it out the window. Like, whoa, where does that come from?
You know,
like,
you want to know where that comes from? It comes from the language of emotionalism versus the language of empiricism. One of the things I tell guys, they go, what can I do? Well, the first thing you can do is stop using the language of emotionalism. Correct. And stop using, like, they say, oh, you're deliberately misgendering me. Yes. No, actually, I'm not. I'm actually telling you what you actually are.
Words have definitions.
And we have words have meanings, and just because you want to feel special by changing those doesn't change the definition of that word. That is an empirical reality.
You know what's funny? If you misgender someone who changes their gender, you'll lose your
you have to be,
but
you got to be willing to go to jail.
But if you call Rolo ma'am on there, they're not going to say shit to you. Why not? You misgender Rolo or me, they're not going to say shit. Why? Why is it? Because we're cisgendered heterosexual men. Yes. We are we're a privileged class. Privileged classes of individuals can never suffer.
Yes.
The only protected classes can suffer. The idea that men suffer is so outside mainstream academic thought. Therefore, if you misgender me or call me names, it's never a problem. Okay. But if you call someone else names who's part of a protected class, then it is a problem. And I'm not pro calling anyone's names, but I am pro the idea of letting anyone say whatever they want and not deplatforming them because they say something you disagree with.
And you're doing them a favor by doing that. and I know that sounds a little kind of like pretentious, but the thing is if you call people like it is and you refuse to use their language and you use our language of empiricism, which is objective reality, this is what because I say what you mean and mean what you say, call it like you see it. If you're doing that, you're encouraging them to adopt an objective form of reality because language can corrupt thought and thought can corrupt language, right? So if we're pandering to this idea that everybody can, be whatever it is that they want and have this subjective reality or subjective identities or subjective gender role identity, whatever the hell it is, the more we start using those languages, the more that the ideology becomes affirmed. And so that's why, like right now, one of my pet peeves is like when I hear husbands and wives refer to each other as their partners. No, you're a fucking husband and you're the wife. And you know what's funny is like it's funny because like the gay community uses partners, right? And so if I say this is my partner, Mike, my heterosexual business partner, Mike Sartain, yeah, how's it going, bro? Like it's gotten to the point where I have to clarify that if I'm saying that. So, and even the gay community is pissed off because that was their word. That's how they refer to themselves, right? As opposed to husband and wife. It's like my partner this, my partner that, right? Well, the thing is if you're not doing that, if you're using the term partner, you're saying that you're agreeing with the blank slate. You're agreeing with this madness that like a husband can be a husband, and even if you're female, you're my husband and I'm your husband, right? It doesn't matter because that's just how we do it, and that's just and it's appropriate, but it's wrong because it's an incorrect term. Okay, so when we're dealing with empirical reality, when we're dealing with observable facts, factual absolutism, I guess would be a better term for it. And then you're dealing with this emotional, this feels better to me if I call myself this, right? I'm special because I do these things. If you refuse to use their language, you're doing them a favor by dragging them over into a reality where they were better off anyways. So I look at it as doing people a favor rather than pandering to their madness.
I get this question. I get this question all the time because I've hosted like 60 bikini competitions. They're like, Michael, what happens when really unattractive women host try to get in the bikini competition? I'm like, I encourage it because it's the first time in their entire life they've ever faced objective reality.
Yeah, so
that's what. Yes,
that's actually a good question
Yeah.
because, like, I mean, I've done a lot of bikini contests with you. That's how we met. But like, so was there a turnaround for like a turn down process? Like,
no, we just let them all go up there. We just let them all go up there, and we just like let them go up there. And this is the first time they've ever thought, oh yeah, I'm as pretty. Like they look at you and fucking Ambry and Masha, and they're like, oh, I'm as pretty as them. And I'm like, we're here to help, honey. We're gonna put you up on stage. We're gonna let you know who's pro men boxing and women's sports. Andrew Wilson. Have you seen Andrew? Andrew is totally pro this because he's like, let them get what they want. Yeah, let them get their ass kicked. Like they're the ones who voted for it.
Aaron Clare is the same way.
Yeah, they're
He's
like super
this
in
is
favor
what
of
you
it.
wanted.
It's like for me, I love doing bikini competitions and having women who have no business come up there and do it, and then afterwards be like, this is rigged. Like you think you're as attractive as Kayla Rocket? Like you really think that you're as attractive as Ambry McKee, Masha Diddock? You really think this is true? Like you're Tabby G? Like you're out of your fucking mind. But I don't say that. I'm like, well, sorry, I guess you didn't bring Michelle Martin for some reason. I don't know what happened there. That's so weird. Must be rigged. But it's the first time they've ever dealt with objective reality. And objective reality has so many gifts. And if you want to know about those gifts, just ask any man, because we got to deal with objective reality every day. We're told how much we can't bench. We know how much we can't bench. We know how much money we don't have. And we know which girls don't want to fuck us. We're reminded of it every day. And that fucking those no's that we hear every day, that's the weight that we deadlift every day to become stronger men. And then eventually we become so strong that those women do want to date us, and that money is in our bank account because we dealt with objective reality. Hey guys, we're about to check out, we're about to end the show here in a little bit, but I wanted one more. I have go ahead. You want to read?
I got the Tiff. Thank you. So facts on gay people leaving that movement. I have a super gay neighbor, and he hates that movement. He says that the same thing that you do, Michael. As far as
I'm telling you, bisexual women, probably lesbian women, and homosexual men, they don't want to be part of this LGBT stuff because they're not all political liberals. Like, do you understand? If I'm a lawyer and I can make $500,000 a year, I don't want to pay more in taxes. I'm not voting Democrat. I'm just not doing it. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm not like, dude, I'm not saying. Trust me, homosexual people have gone through some shit in this country, but in 2024, it's not that big of a deal. It really isn't. Like, like you come out as gay, no one gives a fuck.
Yeah,
like,
that's why everybody decided to be. Well, here's the other thing: is the studies have shown recently that people who are let's say gender non-normative or trans or whatever, they tend to be 6 times more likely to be autistic.
Okay.
I'm autistic.
Yes, yeah. Thank you.
You love women.
There you go.
So
You
go
love
for
it.
it.
You love women.
Right.
Go for it.
Everybody
You
loves
might
women.
be at
Yes.
risk.
Everyone loves women. Women are beautiful. Let's more people.
So you're actually not trans. You're just gay and boring, and you needed something to make you feel special.
It's a mental disorder. It's something chemically wired.
Yes, you're gay and boring. And let's just
I
call
see a
it
trend of narcissism in trans everything though. Like I know.
Well, they want something to feel special about.
Yeah.
Everybody, especially in a global market or globalized, society where we have social media and there's just so many people and you're just one face in a crowd. No, I'm not. I'm gay, or I'm trans, or I'm this, different, or I'm a demi boy, or whatever the fuck it is today, right? That kind of stuff. It's just, I want to feel special. So please make me special.
I don't solve a problem right now, so let me feel special.
Well, we see like I think it's like Gen X, or no, it's Gen Z as the highest rate of like identifying as gender non-normative or gender or gay or trans or whatever. I mean, and it's through the fucking roof, and it's like that's not a biological trend right there. When you just a correlative trend, it's not like suddenly there's something in the freaking drinking water that turned them all that way. No, it's not. Not all it turns all the frogs gay. No, that's not how it works. I'm sorry. It's just popularity is what it is, and everybody wants to feel special. I know.
In theology, we call the ideologies religions, because you have to believe in it. Like it's a whole belief system.
Oh yeah.
So
oh yeah.
I've never seen anything so evil as someone saying, lie to me or you're mean, lie to me or you're a bigot. Like that's the most wicked thing
I'll tell you
I've
what's
ever
funny is
heard of.
one thing that made me realize this is like, have you seen they're placards, or they're like these signs that they stick in the ground kind of thing. It says, in this house we believe love is love and no one is illegal, and whatever. It just runs down this litany of beliefs that are essentially just sort of like progressive liberal, whatever it is, let your free flag fly. And I thought about this and I go, this is exactly the same kind of declaration as if you went to like a Baptist church, or you went to like a evangelical church. You will get a document, or you'll get like this little welcome pack, and it'll say, in this church we believe. I'm like, that's exactly this. It's articles of belief. I'm like, this is a fucking religion. Yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to leave you with one more.
Okay, last one. Here we go.
Take a look. This is my new favorite Instagram, Super Ray 14K.
Hold on now, Elon. Hold on now. I might have beat you to the punch. I think I know what's going to make this tunnel some money. This the real tunnel of love, because I see Gail ready to fuck the shit out of you, sir. With your rich ass, she immediately went for that dick. Soon as I'm talking about the tunnel didn't even start. He talking about we doing 30. She went straight for the dick. All right. Okay, put some more LEDs in there. Yeah, start us off at 100 miles an hour. Shoot the bitch hair. Her fucking wig better fly off in that motherfucking car. I could see it now. Yeah, we could get out of traffic so easy. Oh, that bitch drop down off the street and just shoot you up. Elon, you a bad motherfucker, boy. Cause back in the day, if a nigga came up with this, they'd have stole it. So I'm gonna just let you go on here, do your thing. I like that one looked way safer than the one you had made first. But it all looked like it's gonna lead to some fucking. So Gail look happy than a motherfucker. So I guess we all happy than a motherfucker.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining us.
I got one last one here. I gotta throw this out there. Women are not delusional. They know what they need to work on. They know who's pretty, and they know who's not. Hot girl is usually the alpha female.
Yes.
There you go.
Nice. Guys, next week we're not gonna have a show. We're not gonna have a show again until the 29th.
Yeah. What are we gonna be doing?
So
instead?
Next week is we're going to be doing the FHM Babes in Toyland charity event. It's going to be on Thursday. Thursday the 15th, and that is going to be we're doing it for Foster Friday Foundation. We're raising money for animal rescue. If you guys are, Michelle, do you have a flyer yet?
Well, I was supposed to be out of town for Thailand, maybe.
Yeah, well, you're coming. We decided you're coming.
Okay, well.
If you guys are interested, we're also doing the Nothing But Heels party with a Black Tape Project.
Yeah.
The tickets for that are a little bit pricey, but it's going to be about 10 guys and 100 girls, and the girls are wearing nothing but heels. That's going to be going on
the shtick.
Wednesday. On Thursday, Black Tape Project will also be at the FHM Babes in Toyland party. On Friday, we're going to be at the Peppermint Hippo. The Peppermint Hippo is going to have a black tape display. And then also on Saturday is going to be a huge fashion show. It's going to be Vegas Swim Week fashion show that's going to be on. What's going on here? Vegas Swim Week fashion show which is going to be on Saturday. The following week, the reason why we won't have an Access Vegas is because on the 22nd, we're going to have the Swimsuit USA preliminary for Southern California. It's going to be at Sky Bar in the Mondrian on Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah.
On the 23rd is going to be the first and only bikini competition of the season. It's going to be at Marquee Day Club. It's going to be the Girls of Summer.
Day Club.
Yeah, for $5,000. It's gonna be it's a $5,000. First prize is $3,000 if you guys want to submit girls or no girls that want to be in that. And then for the following week on the 31st is going to be the Arizona preliminary for Swimsuit USA.
Yeah.
That's going to be in Chandler, Arizona at Gila River Resort. If you guys are interested in coming to that, please let me know. And then finally on September 1st, the return of my favorite DJ in the world, Skrillex, is going to be coming back to XS. So I am taking everyone I can, and we are starting a fucking mosh pit for Sunny. So get ready for that. So that's what we got coming up in the future. I'm also going to probably be going to the Paradise Challenge in Puerto Rico.
Oh, really?
Not Puerto Rico, in Mexico and Puerto Vallarta. And I'm going to be going back to Puerto Vallarta for Swimsuit USA's World Championship. That's going to be the 20th through the 27th of October.
The decision has been made then.
Yes. We're going to be doing that 20th through the 27th of October. And then our final Vegas immersion of the year is going to be the week of Halloween. So if you guys want to go,
the Marquee Halloween thingy or what?
Yeah, I have no doubt I'm going to be hosting that. So
Marquee
there's probably
Halloween.
Yes, the week of Halloween, I'm going to be hosting a bunch of bikini competitions, hosting a bunch of costume competitions. So it's a great time. If you guys want to sign up for Vegas immersion, do so immediately because there's very few spots left. And for the rest of you guys, if you guys are considering joining Men of Action, make sure you guys go to skool.com/Men of Action free. There's a hyphen in between each word, or you can go to moamentoring.com and just skip the bullshit and join us. And you guys can join us every week. You guys are I got my partners here. We're going to have a great time with that. And
Speaking of partners, yes, I'm also doing Reignite with MOA. I'm now officially partnered with MOA. The Reignite group is for guys who are 45 to 65 years old who are reintegrating themselves back into the sexual marketplace. Maybe you got out of a bad divorce. Maybe you just simply are bewildered by the modern sexual landscape as such as it is. This is a sort of a subgroup of MOA where we are working with guys within that demographic who also happen to be the the main demographic for guys who self-delete. So we're helping out with that, and guys who go through bad, nasty divorces tend to be about 8 times as likely to do so. So we're doing this as an outreach. We're doing this as sort of a program just for these guys, and we're actually the first event that we're doing will be at Babes in Toyland for coming up next week. That's what I got going on with you guys. The only other thing that I would add to all of the upcoming schedule is I have Phil Labonte from All That Remains is coming into town, and I'm going to see if I can get. He's coming into town. He's playing with Mudvayne and Megadeth are playing on Friday, so I'll be going out to that. I'll be backstage. I'll see if I can grab some of you guys too. But Phil will be in, and I'll have him right here live in studio. He wants to go work out at Powerhouse Gym, so we might do some Instagram reels out there too. So Phil's going to come in, and that's going to be a good time.
One other thing, for those of you guys who are fans of Casey Zander, Casey is going to be coming on my show on the 24th, and then we're going to post that video. I'm excited to have Casey Zander on. We've met in person one time.
I want to do something with him too.
And Casey was introduced to me by Dan Bilzerian, and I want to congratulate Dan because his Sigma Society course is going to be coming out here this week or next week. And for those people who are in Men of Action, if you join Sigma Society through Men of Action, you're going to have a special day where you actually go get to visit Dan at his house. It's going to be one day. It's a select few people. So if you guys want to join Men of Action and then join Sigma Society, we have a special deal for where you guys get to meet Dan, and you actually get a massive discount on the course. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure you join Men of Action, and we'll give you info on that. And we will see you guys on the 29th.
Yep.
3 weeks, guys. Get ready. Come help us raise some money to save animals. Come see us on the 15th at Azillo inside of Sahara for the Babes in Toyland Animal Rescue Charity. And we will see you guys on the 29th.